Hello, everyone. It's
Hello.
RT podcast numero dos.
Dose.
Feels bueno man in chat. Wait, I don't have the emote enabled. Just kidding. I think I might enable that emote. I've been using it a lot in your chat.
That's a good one. Yeah, feels bueno, man.
You remember we were just sitting there memeing like Juan?
You mean like all the times
everything?
because we meme always?
Every time. All the times, every time. Rob is still waving. Rob's not special, I swear.
No, I'm not.
He
is wearing a Ceradoma hat, but he's not special.
Yeah.
Those two things are at odds. Anywho, yeah, Recipe for Disaster podcast number 2, hosted by the lovely Iron Strix. The man to my right or left, depending on how you look at it, is Rob or Vorpal Tongues, and I am Tripwire. Welcome, guys.
These guys. No, I'm the one who looks special. As you can see today, we're all rocking the plaid, except for Chase.
Plaid's too mainstream. And I wore it last week. I became a hipster since then.
He's like, since then, I've taken up yoga and Tai Chi.
I drink tea.
I shop at Whole Foods now.
God. I'd rather, I mean,
somebody in our chat shops at Whole Foods, and now they hate us.
I mean, they may have hated us before.
Remember, we gotta offend somebody every podcast, right?
Shirt off. I don't want to take my shirt off.
Today was the hipsters and people who shop at Whole Foods. It's okay. We didn't care for you anyways.
So
this is a RuneScape podcast, right?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, we called it a Recipe for Disaster for a reason.
There was a reason.
Yeah, there was a reason. I can't quite remember what it was now, though. Something about a quest.
I think it's the three of us are a Recipe for Disaster.
We're all really AIDS.
Recipe for memes, we called it.
Recipe for memes.
Shop at Quarter Foods.
Rob, how does it make you feel when I say the word memes?
Like, I feel like you're an autist trying to pronounce mayonnaise. Like, if I'm being honest, that's the impression I get.
Oh God.
What if I am?
I feel bad for laughing at that.
I feel bad for saying it.
I hope I don't get any comments when I upload this to YouTube calling me a bad person.
You are a bad person. Don't worry.
Well, I don't want to be called it though.
He's like, but I don't want people to know I'm a bad person.
That's fine, as long as nobody gives me shit for it.
We're like, as long as nobody realizes I'm a bad person. Jesus Christ.
So what's everybody doing in game during this podcast?
Okay, currently I am desperately trying to get my inventory sorted so I can go do a farm run.
That's
so
tough.
Farm run time for me.
That reminds me of when Rob was drunk and couldn't do an elite clue for his entire stream.
I got 2 steps in, okay?
You still couldn't
finish
the
was hilarious.
It's like a sixth of it.
I spent 45 minutes in the bank before I did step 1.
Oh
I mean, Nigel also spent like 20 minutes trying to log into his account later that night.
That's true.
So.
To be fair, I did realize I was far too drunk to log into my account and quit trying to do that.
What do you mean I sent you to bed? I was like, Nigel, you're still trying to log in. Maybe you should just not play. You're gonna do something bad once you log in.
Oh yeah.
You're like, maybe. I was like, Nigel, go lay down and wait for Ashton to get home.
That's why Nigel shouldn't get drunk. He gets upset when he wakes up the next day because he's like, I'm hungover and I didn't make my gains. Missed a farm run. I'm upset now.
All right, so yeah, and I'm doing the agility pyramid during this podcast. Woohoo!
Agility pyramid.
Why do you hate yourself?
Oh yeah, agility pet. I was thinking,
yeah,
I was like, why the fuck is somebody who's max doing the agility pyramid?
It's got a good chance of the pet, and it isn't the penguin course. So there you go.
Dude, he's getting that dollar.
It's the money.
We all know how much money the agility course is worth.
10 kgp a lap.
And
I never fall, and I never take desert heat damage, so it's not that bad.
The amulet's OP.
Yeah. So Rob, what are you doing in game, or are you not playing again?
I'm fishing.
Oh, okay. All right.
I gotta get 91 for the diary, like ASAP.
Monkfish.
Yep.
He's a very efficient player.
It's like 10k an hour less, it's so much more AFK.
You're gonna tick manipulate that shit, Rob? It's pretty hardcore.
Dude, if you tick manipulate monkfish,
can you do that?
I don't think so.
You can't. I mean, you can.
There's no reason to, right?
You can use a reindeer hat. You can 3 tick anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Or you could just use herb tar.
Yeah, I'll fucking 3 tick some monkfish.
What's really funny is on our end, Rob's stream froze for like half a second. He was just sitting there like,
oh, I missed it. God damn it. He's got the fidget spinner again.
Yeah. We're gonna get is questions about the.
We
fidget
need to
spinner.
get sponsored by them.
Constantly playing with
We
these,
we
dude.
need to get one for Nigel, one for me, and then get sponsored.
All right, I want auto hotkeys. Called it.
I'm gonna go with fidget spinner.
Auto hotkeys is my sponsor.
All right, what's our
I
first
wanna get
topic,
sponsored by
Nigel?
Pornhub.
Okay, first topic we can talk about that's RuneScape related. Let's talk about the results of the 10 skilling suggestions poll. So that's a previous poll. That's stuff that passed. I don't think any of this has made it into the game yet. But
Not that I know of.
the important one, we knew shift click to drop was going to pass because it was like 90%.
Yep.
But it has definitely passed. And according to the Q&A, it's most likely coming next week. So prepare your OP-ness.
Prepare for easy escape.
I'm very
Easy
happy
escape
for
is
that.
coming. Somebody should edit that instead of like the winner is coming. Easy escape is coming.
So okay, I have a question. So they said that it's going to be useful for other stuff too. Like you could shift, release chinchompas, for example. Do you think it's going to be possible to like shift deposit stuff into the bank?
That would be cool.
Because there are times like
I don't know if they'll do that though.
It'd be nice, like if you're just going to Winter Todd, for example, over and over again, you get these random rolls of a bunch of bullshit, and you want to deposit them. And
I think what's gonna happen is what happens with every other update that comes in the game. Players are like, we don't want that, and then it passes. So clearly, players wanted it, and then players are like, well, now that we have it, let's put it here too. You know, that's what's gonna happen. Is we're gonna have shift click to drop, and players are gonna be like, well, can we get shift click for this? Can we get shift click for that?
I think he means like for depositing a stack. Like if you want to do it all without dumping your entire inventory, you have to right click, go to deposit all, for example.
Yeah,
right,
that's what we're talking about, Jake Rain. So basically, what shift click does is it changes the option on your left click.
Right.
So when you hold down shift, it changes the option on the stuff in your inventory, to the drop option or release option. So we're saying if when you're in the banking interface, what happens if you press shift? Personally, I would like to see stuff for shift withdrawal, shift deposit.
Yeah.
They've also said they can add stuff to control and alt and any other key modifier. So potentially this opens the door for a lot of really cool stuff. I sure hope it goes that way because let's face it, the interface is pretty old, pretty bad. The interface can be greatly improved, in my opinion. I don't know. That's just my opinion about the interface.
I
would
totally
love to
fine
see
with
more
it,
stuff
yeah.
like this. All right, so I think we're all pretty much on the same page on that one.
Yep.
The tithe farming thing passed. The
Small change, but useful to make
yeah,
sure
okay,
weeds
like
don't
what
grow.
didn't pass? Motherlode mine? Did the motherlode mine thing not pass?
I think all of it passed.
Everything passed.
Everything.
Yeah, everything passed.
Everything passed? Okay.
Yep.
The poll results on the website look slightly different from the poll results in game for some reason. Yeah, literally everything passed. Wow. So we got left click bass mining, we got keyboard shortcuts for POH. We talked about that last week a lot.
Oh yeah,
That's gonna be a big one. I think a lot of this is probably gonna come into the game next week, if I had to guess. Because a lot of it's just quality of life.
Yeah, it's small
Not gonna
changes.
take long. They're like doubling Motherlode mine. There's a heads up display for Motherlode mine. All right, so we're getting all the big skilling changes. Exciting. So that's pretty much it for last week. Let's roll into this week. This week is the Party Pete's birthday bash update.
Mm-hmm.
So for the 4th year of old school RuneScape.
Yes. 4th.
If you're not max now, what are you doing? Is basically what this says.
Yeah, Rob and Nigel, what are you doing?
It's almost like I only started a year and a half ago.
That's entirely subjective, Rob. Come on now.
Is it though?
Okay,
Yeah,
on the topic of
it.
people training their accounts really fast. Do you guys know who
AJ's
Hauki on RS is?
Oh, never mind.
Who?
Who?
Hauki on RS.
How's
He's
it spelled?
a Finnish player, I believe.
How's it spelled?
No.
Hauki.
I don't think so. I think we're gonna talk about
Anyways.
AJ's because he fucking is maxing an account on the side.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm gonna max an alt for fun.
Mm.
So Hauki, he had a high-ranking Iron Man. His Iron Man got hacked. He decided he wanted to de-iron it, so he got laked, basically. Makes a new Iron Man. Has had the account for 7.5 months. He's the same total level on that Iron Man as I am on mine.
Some people.
Yeah. He's disgustingly good at this game. He was at Zamorak today. Is it Zammy? He was wearing Void and flicking. Yeah. Talk about the balls on him. That's like that shit's impressive to me. Just going into the Zammy room and just be like, yeah, Void's fine. Great to watch.
Sounds awful.
Great to watch. He streams too, guys, so you should check him out. I believe he's Amuto Vale on Twitch. I'll find it later.
Now we're gonna get sponsored by Hauki.
Exactly how you think you spell it. Don't try. Anyways, birthday event.
Yeah, it's been a long time since this game.
How many
came
of you
out.
guys have actually done the birthday event?
No.
No.
For like 2 seconds, I was like, I kind of want those balloons, and I was like, nah, I'll keep training my account.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, those are neat.
I wish
Not
they'd
gonna go
added
get
a
'em.
transparency to them, to be honest. The fact that they're solid kind of makes them not look as good, I think.
I was hoping we could get RS3 particle effects.
On a balloon?
Yes.
No, I thought I briefly considered doing it, and I was like, nah.
Maverick's got the right idea in the chat. The Feels birthday man.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Chase is in here. It's always Feels birthday man.
That meme definitely died a lot in my chat, though.
It
Like,
did
hasn't,
die.
it hasn't been nearly as prominent.
It needs a resurgence. It's always Chase's birthday here.
Well,
You
I mean,
don't have Feels
I don't-
Dad, man.
No, I don't.
That's like
There's
the
a lot
best
of
emote I've made.
BTTV emotes.
What are you
that
doing
I
with your
wanna
life?
have. Mostly having shit BTTV emotes.
Mostly.
But
Clearly.
people insist I have Rarest Parrot and K-Cool. So
Those are good ones.
I have
Yeah.
to
I
have
want to
them.
do the Kit Kat.
I wonder if the birthday meme will make a resurgence next month when it's actually my birthday.
No,
No.
no
For the-
one's gonna remember.
If
So you
okay.
know what's gonna happen is we're gonna make sure everyone doesn't say happy
Yeah,
birthday
no. If
to you
there's
on your
like some
actual
kind of
birthday.
conspiracy to not wish me happy birthday on the one day a year that people should, I'm gonna cry. That'll just be very sad.
Well, I'll wish you happy birthday on the next day.
That would just make me want to die.
You're like, wow. Like everyone remembered it was my birthday because they had to remember to say
To not
happy
say
birthday.
nothing. Yeah, to say nothing.
So literally everyone knew.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was kind of funny. Apparently in the party event, there's like a little I think Mod Kieran wrote it. There's like a little section where like they get invited, like one of the people gets invited to the party or something, and like he doesn't want to go. He wants to just sit there and like do math instead, like mathematics.
With a TI-84.
I was like, yeah, that sounds like old school players to me. Like, hey, dude, you want to go to this party? No, we'll play RuneScape. Pretty much us. Hey, did you do that cool fun holiday event in game? No, I was just getting games.
Doing agility post 99, best thing ever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Recipe
Okay,
for
so-
sucking a Jack Daniels bottle off. I like it.
Don't tempt
Spicy.
me, Connor.
The recipe is to be a slut and have Jack Daniels around. Very simple.
I don't keep it
Two-step.
in my house anymore.
Not surprised after that night.
I
Too tempting.
can't do Jack anymore.
Yep. My mom says it's like that with Captain Morgan. She had a bad experience with Captain Morgan one time.
I can't do Captain Morgan either.
Pretty soon you're gonna hate Fireball.
Yep.
It's gonna happen.
You're like,
Rob's gonna be 25 and old and bitter.
like I'm just partying through my life, ruining one alcohol for myself at a time.
We're just checking them off one at a time.
So none of us did the event. We had the new worlds added to the game.
12.
Yeah.
12 new worlds. And
Oh my
nobody knew that
God.
was coming, I don't think. It was a surprise, and it was a good surprise.
Yeah.
You know,
I did
also,
not
I didn't
know
see
that was happening.
myself until I read this news article. I read 12 new worlds and I was like, oh, okay, 12 worlds, sweet. And then it said West Coast. I was just,
Yeah. I'm not going to use them. It just
care.
it makes for a lower density of people at
I'm
bosses
probably
or
the only
things like
person
that.
who gives a shit about West Coast worlds here because you guys both live
Probably.
East Coast.
Yes.
I live centrally. I live Oklahoma. So it's like right in the middle of fucking America. But somehow to the US East servers, I get like 90 millisecond ping. To the US West servers, I get 50 milliseconds. What gives? I don't get it. But
Doesn't have
there
to
you
make
go.
sense.
My West Coast server. Maybe the West Coast servers are just located in like Arizona, not California, like you'd expect.
That could be, yeah.
Could be possible.
But yeah.
Something weird like that.
It's nice though.
It'd be cool if they, made that decision.
Pretty much since
consciously,
like
'cause-
2 or 3 Deadman seasons ago, we've had a pretty high population of players in old school. I think this is a bit overdue, and it's really nice to finally have extra worlds.
It is. It's so nice. I remember Tom immediately put out a YouTube video like after the update came out, and he was like, "Oh, I can finally do Bandos," and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, "Man,
But you did it beforehand, yeah."
You're like, "Shut up,
Shut up, Tom. Go get some more pets.
He's gonna get the Bandos pet. Like
He is.
like
You know
500
it.
KC.
You know it. You know what the
He's
worst
gonna
thing
do it.
was? It wasn't the worst thing. Wasn't that you got the mole pet? The worst thing was that Zulu just casually went and got the mole pet too, and then tweeted it
Did
at
you watch
me.
his stream when he was
No.
like he was there and like his whole fucking not like his whole stream, but like a bunch of people from his stream were there at Mole. They were like spec transferring him so you could just claw spec.
Oh
Mole.
really? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
No, I didn't see
It was
that.
because the method he was doing, he would just teleport to his house and do it
Yeah,
that
yeah.
way,
I've seen people do
which
that.
isn't even really faster than the regular method.
No.
It's just kind of fun, right?
Mhm.
But he went there and a bunch of people were just spec transferring him, so you could just claw spec Mole all the time. It was
Be
actually
famous
really
on
cool.
Twitch.
Yeah, feels famous, man.
But yeah, he only killed it
Feels
like.
famous.
So now he's got 14 pets. So he's 3 pets ahead of me in the pet hunt, and that one he got at 1,200. Meanwhile, I'm at like 5,700 without the pet. Oh man, I mean, of course, if I get it during the charity stream tomorrow, it'll be fucking lit. But I'm pretty mad that
Oh, yeah.
I still don't have it yet.
Lit F.
Lit F, yeah.
So yeah, pretty much nobody thinks 12 New Worlds isn't awesome, right? We all think that's great.
Oh, it's a good.
Oh, it's
Fantastic.
fantastic.
super good. And then of course,
How
I
can you not
love how
think
they
it's
have
great?
the "What about Australian Worlds?" question
Oh,
mark
yeah, they have
exclamation
to.
point.
They have to have it. Dude, people were upset
Yeah,
for
I
like
know,
2
I
days.
know.
They're like, no Aussie World. There was actually Mod Matt K actually made a pretty good post on Reddit about it. Somebody said like it shouldn't take this long. I live in Australia and I worked with Telestra, which is like the big
Yeah, the
internet
ISP,
company there.
right?
Yeah, they're like the integrated level ISP there. To which Mom.K came in a thread and responded and it was like, yo, Telestra couldn't provide what we were asking for, so we're
Mhm.
working with our international supplier, but we still have to work with Telestra because
Right.
what else are you gonna do in Australia, basically? And they're like, it's gonna take time. And somebody else explained in that thread that most likely the reason it was gonna take so much time is because old school RuneScape's old. They probably run a very particular type of servers. They probably use a very particular type of hardware that's probably older. And Telestra probably doesn't want to provide that, or can't, or doesn't want to do it at a cheap price, or like at the price they should be doing it. Not to mention, apparently, like a lot of MMO servers, they don't want the ISPs anywhere near those boxes. They don't want them anywhere near the server boxes. Basically, those things are under lock and key, and they don't want you to fucking touch them for
Yeah,
anything.
that's the way it should be.
They want the people they trust touching them.
Yeah.
So they have to be really picky about how they do things, basically. And I guess it's gonna take time. So sit tight, Aussies. For now,
Yeah.
you guys got West Coast Worlds, which are slightly faster. They're actually pretty
So-
decent.
Piscatoris asked if they're coming in early August. That is right, isn't it? They have been saying late summer for Aussie Worlds, right?
Early August.
Or early
well, they
August,
said
whatever
early, they
they
said
said.
early August, like last August.
Right.
So August 2016.
Things change. Could get pushed back.
Yeah, unfortunately. I'm sure they talked to their supplier. Their supplier talked to Telestra or something like that, and they said, "Yeah, no, we can totally get it out by this time."
hmm
Delays happen, always delays happen. So maybe it was wrong of them to say something, but the community does pressure them a lot
Oh hell yeah!
about these Australian servers because there's a big amount of Australian players, and there'd be a hell of a lot more if we had oceanic servers. Not to mention, I mean, it enables people to play from like China, Singapore, places like that.
Yeah.
Get decent ping. Actually, I don't know what the ping from Singapore to UK is. Probably decent.
Here's an
little bit
unrelated
Be
question.
any worse than my ping there.
I have an unrelated question. Do you guys know if you're doing the agility pyramid, does the pet roll happen when you take the top or when you leave the pyramid? Because the XP drops.
Leave the pyramid.
Because that's when the XP drop happens. That's what I figured.
Yeah,
I
probably.
just want to know.
I
I just want to know at what point to be disappointed every lap.
US Worlds are so nice. The new US Worlds are very nice for New Zealand ping. Yeah, that's what I've heard. That it's a significant reduction in ping for all you Aussie and Kiwis. It's like 60 seconds lower or something, which is pretty significant. That's a big chunk. Now, 60 seconds off like 300 milliseconds is not great, but
No.
it's something. It's something.
The secret is to never stop being disappointed. Oh, okay, yeah. Just be disappointed at 100% of the time during each
I
lap.
just called you Robert.
He did.
That.
I don't like that name at
I
all.
feel
That's why I
Yeah,
prefer
no,
Rob.
don't call Rob that. That ain't cool, man.
Well, we can always just call you Chase.
You might as well just misgender or misage him. Jeez.
Chase.
I mean, can we not promote that meme?
You're like, can we not?
Can we just move? Can we move on? Move on to the next topic.
Oh, did you guys notice this tiny little bit of Jagex snark in the news post? It says, "What about Australian Worlds?" It doesn't just say question mark. It says question mark.
Yeah, no.
exclamation
I
mark.
said that when I brought it up because I was like,
Because
yeah,
they know exactly how upset the community is. Like, no Aussie Worlds. Get your pitchforks. But I'm left-handed. Okay, have a left-handed pitchfork. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
So PVM quality of life improvements. That's the stuff that got added because that was the first poll, right? The first poll was PVM quality of life. Quality of life month is shaping up to be
Very good.
kind of like not well. It's like not that much quality of life. It's actually just like a lot of the PVM stuff was the stuff that was closest to quality of life, I think.
Yeah, it's those are quality of life for sure.
The PvP stuff is just like, dude, please pass some of this PvP shit, please.
Well, some of them they're definitely quality of life, but it's like I feel like it's kind of like the same thing we talked about last week. How some of it you'd think it wouldn't really need to be pulled because it just makes their wilderness minigame more desirable to do.
Yeah.
And they want to not have the PvP die off completely.
Pretty much, yeah. None of us are PvP, but I imagine if you PvP, probably you spend a lot of time playing bounty hunter. I would imagine.
Yeah.
There are
PvP
people
worlds
who
are
do
dead,
deep wild
is what I've
PKing,
heard. So.
but
Yeah. So the
we got
Dagannoth
the
King
Bounty Hunter
Slayer
World
layer. Want to talk about that? You want to go
yeah,
through
we can
these?
talk about that. Has anyone used this yet?
No. I really
I
wish.
did my
Yeah.
DK task the day before this update dropped.
I think I did too. Actually, I really want another task.
I did it on the UK 2K World. Somebody actually came in my room and like saw that I was 124 total and like wearing actual real gear, and they're like, "Oh, okay." And they just left. They're like, "No, we ain't doing this today." I was surprised they didn't just crash me. Maybe they didn't know.
Talk about people gearing to crash. Let's not touch on that. Let's not give that fuckwad any more attention.
He's loving it, dude.
No, they also added the safe peeking for KQ and DKs. That's a really good update.
Yes,
I know that because the crack at DKs.
You
Where
can poke your
exactly
head
is
in
that?
The crack. Just gonna put my head through this crack.
Fragile. But where, like in the picture, obviously. So where are the cracks located, though?
I don't know. I think they're
Exactly.
just off to the side.
Okay, because I was having a hard time from these little cropped images seeing where you need.
Yeah,
to
I
check.
think they added a new portion to the world geometry
Okay.
to put them in there.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure they're conveniently located. That's the whole point. So that's good.
Yeah.
It's at the start of the caves, in a safe area. Oh yeah, they're in safe areas. Cool.
The Corp Cave has been shrunk. So
I know it's old news, but in your opinions, are you guys pissed about HK or did you not use it? I think all of us used it to some extent, because it was very convenient. But all of us understand why it had to go. We're not. At least myself, I'm not wholly happy about it. But shift click alleviates some of the.
It does, and in fairness, like the HK ban affects me the least of all, so I'm pretty neutral.
I'm happy
about
with it.
It's fine to me.
Personally, the way I use HK is the same way I use Windows mouse keys. I'm a little upset that I had to go out and buy a $20 number pad to use Windows mouse keys, but
I mean, you could have just had a normal keypad or a normal keyboard.
yeah,
to
I could
begin
just have a
with.
normal keyboard. But I mean, I'd spend a lot of money on this. I get a Philco Mattress Touch. It's a nice keyboard. So I was a little annoyed that like, oh, apparently I just purchased the wrong keyboard for RuneScape. Thanks.
Yeah, that's a bit weird.
But that's the part that kind of annoyed me about the HK ban the most was it was kind of along the lines of like, well, you can still do this stuff, but now it's only if you have a really specific setup, and
Yeah.
that's kind of why it rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. But I think Jagex is going to do the right thing by the players and
I think
offer
that
their own solutions.
not being wishy-washy about something like that is better in the long run, no matter what they decide.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's better for them to just
Yeah.
hey, this is where we're at.
It's better business, better everything.
Yeah.
So,
because I mean, the whole reason Windows mouse keys is allowed at all is because of it's kind of it's like the Windows mouse keys is accessibility software, right? Like they can't just say, hey, sorry guys, fuck off if you get a disability. Like you can't do that.
Yeah.
They could, but it would be PR nightmare. It'd be really dumb for them to do so. Also, they've said the software has been allowed for like forever.
mm-hmm.
So they're kind of just, they can. I have the feeling that they may want to do that, but their hands are kind of tied on it. And I think it's just the way it is. So they're going to offer us alternatives, I think, to try to get players what they want without having to go to third-party solutions to do it.
That's the way it should be done, to be honest.
Yeah, that should be. No, this is a podcast, Blue Jake, but we are all playing RuneScape currently.
That's true. This is a RuneScape-themed podcast.
Yes.
It says podcast right up there above Niggle. I don't know where he is located on my screen. That way, kind of.
You got it. Yeah.
That's that way. Yeah, you're in the general area.
I tried.
You know, actually, what's funny, Nigel, is I was editing the first podcast uploaded to my YouTube channel, and because of positioning or cam flipping or whatever, right at the end, you said that it'll be uploaded to my channel and also Tripwire's channel, and he's the guy right here, and you pointed down at Rob, and then I waved, and it just made us look like retards. Because we're just so uncoordinated.
Well, it's probably because mirrored cam.
Yeah, it's probably the mirror. But it was just like,
odd.
I looked at it and I was just like, God, no.
You're like, dude, come on.
Yeah.
Please.
I have not, Cody. If you could post it, that'd be great for a reference.
Drunk podcast. Maybe one day.
That would be pretty funny.
I mean,
maybe
I'm
like
that would
already
actually be a
drinking.
good time.
Maybe like the 10th one or something. Do that.
I'm gonna Angry Orchard.
Actually,
oh yeah, speaking of podcast stuff.
Hmm?
We're not gonna be live next week, or are we gonna get a fill in for you, Chase?
For
Chase
me?
is gonna be here. I'm
Rob's
leaving.
gonna be gone.
Oh, you're the one who's going, Rob. Okay, I knew somebody
Yeah.
wasn't here next
Rob
week.
won't be here.
Sorry, I get you guys mixed up.
No, I'm gonna be in Tampa getting lit and gambling at a casino.
Yeah, no, I should be here. All
right,
I guess we can decide later on. See if there's anybody
Yeah,
who
we'll
wants to
decide
come
later on. Feels good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some more RuneScape stuff to talk about, right? Corp Cave.
Corp Cave got
That's smaller
smaller. I think it's just that you don't have to run as far to see if there's people at Corp, right? Is that the point?
That for one, and also two, the biggest reason, the room outside was so big, it caused a loading zone inside of Corp.
Oh, right. That's what they said.
Yeah.
They didn't want you to load or like have a little lag time while fighting the boss.
Yeah, because if the area is too big, it has to, because the game renders in chunks, right? It renders in map squares.
Yep.
So sometimes it had to render the next part of the Corp room, which caused it, like a second or two of lag, which at Corp, you could just be dead.
Yeah,
if that happens. So I think that's a really smart change.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that passed. I'm glad that the players realized, yeah, that's probably pretty dumb. And the licensed spirit bug fix thing happened. The buff, yeah.
I was reading this and like I have a question that might be dumb, but like I honestly don't know what Zulrah attack hits through prayer.
Not sure.
None actually.
Exactly.
They don't. That is kind of weird because it says now applies to the following attacks that hit their protection prayers.
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't even notice that. That is interesting.
Maybe it's just the Zulrah attacks didn't apply to it. Like it didn't apply the elation effect. Melee. Oh, the melee one. Yep, there you go. Yep.
Oh yeah, okay.
That explains
the one that you
it,
should
'cause none
never
of us
fucking
ever
get hit by. Yeah. Like that doesn't matter. If you're getting hit by the melee attack, then you need to practice some more. And you probably don't. And you probably don't have an Elijah. Let's face it.
No.
Like, come on now.
New meta, wear your Din's bulwark and just tank all the red hits. Don't worry, we got this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get Lowlander to help me at Zulrah.
The Lowlander tank. The Lowlander shield, rather.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what else is in the PVM quality life improvements? We got a bullet list here.
The Spectral Shield.
Spectral affects all prayer draining attacks outside of PvP. There's a pair of there's some bones at the top of the agility pyramid. I think that dude who was here with me just fucking died at the top of the agility pyramid. How the fuck?
Oh, was he trying to do the the clue?
I have no idea. He was
Died to the
wearing
double
odd
agent?
gear, so yeah, that could
Probably
be.
died to the double agent. If he was he wearing a mystic top?
Yes.
Yeah, he was doing the clue step. It was a mystic
He
top.
got
and a
all the way to the top
shield.
and then fucking died. GG.
Started at the bottom, and now we did.
I'd
Alright.
really like a Spectral for doing Zammy.
Yeah, Zami and Serb, very good. Where else is it really useful?
Wait, you want a Spectral for Zammy?
Well, because Zami's, he drains protection prayer, or he drains prayers
with
with
the
a spec
spec.
attack.
Well, the main way you counter Zammy's smite is he smites you for half your remaining prayer. The way you do it is you just keep your prayer
Keep it
low.
low.
Yeah, so that
Oh.
already reduces the effectiveness of his smite.
I didn't actually know that's how that worked.
That's
how,
the way you should do it.
That's how Venenatus works too, right?
Huh.
I believe so. Yeah, both of them you should keep your prayers at like 20.
Yep.
Or something like that.
Okay.
So that's why these changes are I like them because they're in line with what we already have and like it makes sense. But it's not actually that big because pretty much I think Serb is like the only boss where that amount of prayer drain is fixed. You're getting prayer drained for
30.
that amount
Equal.
every time. Yeah, and it's rough on the prayer potions if you don't have the spectral.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think this really affects much. Like it doesn't really change too much. But I like it. I like consistency. I like that you can be like, all right, this shield is good for this thing, and that's true across
And it
the
works
board.
everywhere. Yeah, that's the way it should
Yeah.
be.
Yep.
Because if there's one thing that just pisses me off about RuneScape sometimes, it's that everything is so inconsistent. It's like, yeah, this does that. It's
They've
like,
just had so
really?
many
That's
devs
cool.
work
Can I
on it
use-
over the years that nothing matches.
Yeah.
nothing matches. Everything's weird. For instance, make all, make X. The fact that we have to pull, we're like, well, it's been in the game so long that you can only make all for like some of the things.
Yeah.
You guys just want to make all for all the things, and players are like, yeah, please, can we have that? I mean, it's just so weird. Like, you can imagine. Okay, so it works here. This should work there, right? No, not in RuneScape. Everything has an exception in RuneScape.
Leave your
For some
logic at the
reason.
login screen.
Yeah, when you hit login, it's like, all right, we're in the world of RuneScape. Nothing makes sense in Gillinor. So Dark Relic was buffed.
Yep. And I didn't even realize this, but it's also usable for any skill now, which is really cool.
Yes.
It's not limited to whatever they had set it to before.
Use in raids, the ones that use in
okay.
raids, it makes more experience. So it's 50 times the level for every skill that you don't use in raids. For skills that you do use in raids, which is a lot of them, you get 150 times your level.
That's cool.
So the skills are your combat skills: mining, woodcutting, herblore, farming, hunter, cooking, fishing, thieving, fire making, agility. So that's a large majority of the skills. So it'll only give you 50 times for like rune crafting. I think it works for prayer. I'm not sure. That's actually pretty good.
I would assume so. It's a combat skill.
Yeah. So it's like only a couple of skills that it doesn't really work for. It doesn't work for Slayer.
That'd be really nice for Herb XP though. Like right now, I'd get 12k per relic.
Can you imagine on those level 3 skiller accounts? One of the best ways to train Slayer might be to go in there and try to get Dark Relics. And just dump
be
XP in Slayer, because like that's a way you can repeatedly get lamps for it.
Yeah.
Because the only way they can train it is genies and the teacher minigame.
Mm-hmm. What is the drop rate on them? Does anyone know?
I have no idea. They're probably like uncommon, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I've done like 75 raids or so, and I've gotten 3 of them, but I think I've gotten more than most people.
Yeah, I think I had one in 30 to 40.
Okay.
Hey Adam, what's going on, man? It's Crash X. Do you guys remember him?
I know the name.
I might be the only one here that remembers him.
I know the name.
I don't know.
I think I've just heard you talk about Crash X.
Yeah, he was a cool guy. He's kind of one of the guys
who
who
was a cool guy.
Well, he's still a cool guy, but he's not
okay.
really like around as much anymore. He used to stream very regularly.
Gotcha.
He kind of motivated me to do the diary cape after my quest cape.
Oh, cool.
I think if he really had the time to like full-time play RuneScape, he'd be one of the top Iron Men right now.
Neato.
He was a monster. He was a beast.
Yeah, when I came back to playing, and when I started up what turned into my Road to Max YouTube series, my original goal was getting the Diary Cape. That's kind of where I started off. when I came back to the
Yep.
game. It's a really good goal for anybody to do. Okay, so the Mithril Dragons change 200 points, and Slayer Masters will offer an unlock that notes the Mithril bar drops because everybody does Mithril Dragon tasks regularly, right?
I'm pretty happy with that. I'm actually gonna unlock them because of
Really?
that.
I considered that I might unlock them, but I currently don't have them unlocked.
It's like it's
I
not
don't
bad.
either because there was never a reason for it.
Yeah, it's not bad if
But
you
I
have it
need chewed
unlocked
bones anyway.
and you do them for quick points anyway. It's just a little bonus, but like other than that, who does Mithril Dragons tasks?
Yeah, I think with this change, I would consider doing it.
Yeah, there's no reason not to. I mean, they're pretty quick for the most part. Like if you got
Yeah, they're not
Hasta
too
and
bad.
stuff.
As long as your stats
We got
aren't shit.
Trident. Trident's
Yeah.
really good there.
Yeah,
That too.
Metal Dragons
Trident's
all
really good.
around.
All the metal dragons.
Yeah. I wouldn't waste runes on it though, personally.
I mean, if you only got
You can
like
buy
if you got
runes.
like 8 Mithril Dragons assigned, it's not many
Yeah,
runes.
but I also got to buy smithing and then buy construction.
Well, I mean, the amount of runes you buy for Slayer is not really comparable to like the 70 or 80 mil you're spending on construction. So, kind of a drop in the bucket if you think about it that way,
I just need to do more bears.
or that.
Yeah.
Okay, I would at some point I'm gonna have to go back and do barrows. You guys are aware of like the kind of series that I'm doing. I want to get every drop on my Iron Man,
Yeah.
which takes a long time, of course. I'm a level 124 combat. I still am missing 2 barrels items. They're totally useless. Carol's Coif, Torx chestplate. I'm 124 combat. I'm like, I would be embarrassed to go back to barrows at
So
124 combat.
So you're saying like all unique boss item drops, or like or
Yeah, minus pets because
minus pets. Okay.
Yeah.
So how
Yeah,
long
every
do you
pet is-
estimate that would take to get everything?
I think it's probably gonna take me another year or 2.
Yeah. So you'd say it's like comparable to the pet hunting.
Well, maybe with raids. With raids, it's probably gonna
yeah.
take longer. But
Yeah.
Forgot about that.
Like excluding raids, it shouldn't take you that long. You have a lot of stuff already.
That's
yeah, excluding raids, I'm pretty much like I have to finish Arma, which I can probably do on the way to 99 Slayer. Considering if I get enough agency tasks, I should be able to do that.
Yeah.
But raids throws a big wrench in it. I'm not sure what I want to do with raids. Maybe I'll just make certain items that I want to get off of raids. But even that can take a very long time.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think we estimated how long it would take to complete raids if you were very lucky.
was a long time.
Considering you get an item like every 60 hours approximately, an item in your name every 60 hours. That's 60 hours of raiding, not every.
And
60
also
hours you're on the game.
duplicates. That's just an item. You could have.
Yeah,
duplicates
well,
a bunch of
assuming you got
times.
literally no duplicates,
It would take
still
you
take
a
you.
long ass time. Yeah.
It would still take you a really long time, considering you had perfect RNG. Save the coif till as the last item.
First time in the world anybody would be excited about a Carol's Coif if you did that, so might be worth
I'd
it.
be like, oh, cool, got a Carol's coif. Those are worthless.
Yeah.
Oh wait, it's my last item. Woo!
It's like when you save
We're
Monk's
done.
Friend as the last quest. Same effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the party.
Well, Monk's Friend's cool because you get the
Yeah.
they throw the party for you, man. They're like, you did it. You got the quest cake. Here's some balloons, dude.
You did it. You
Now
cut some
dance.
logs for us.
I want to save 99 cooking to be my last 99 until max.
God.
It's so difficult to do as an Iron Man, though. Like you
Yeah.
actually have to kind of try.
I don't even
levels.
play my Iron Man. My Iron Man already has cooking done. It's 99.
That's because you AFK'd like 90,000 sharks.
No, I AFK'd over like 50,000 sharks.
That's
You
not any
AFK'd
better.
You AFK'd all the sharks. KQ is gonna be a breeze for you.
I'm probably not going to be.
Everything's gonna be a breeze.
The thing is though, like I'm kind of over the whole balancing multiple accounts full time thing right now because I used to multi-log every single day, and I was when I went back to not doing that, it was just like so nice that I have no
the game
interest in
felt
playing
fun
my
to
other
play
stuff.
again, didn't it?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I canceled my membership on all my other accounts. Like I don't play anything but my main now, and I've been really enjoying that. So I don't know when I'm
the
going
game's
back to my
the game's just
Iron.
more fun that way, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
So my Iron's probably gonna be untouched for a while. But
Escape feels mysteriously too much like work. You know what I mean?
yeah. It was
Like it
fun for a
kind of
while.
feels like I'm actually getting something done here.
I feel like I should be getting paid an hourly
No.
wage.
What do you
Yeah.
mean? Blank CD.
Ashton,
Okay, well, DVD?
podcast.
No, CDs.
Ashton,
you're on the podcast.
Ashton, it's
Say
a
hi.
podcast.
There you go. There you go. All the CDs you could ever want. Anything else you need?
Podcast.
What about a kiss? Do you need a kiss? No kisses.
We're gonna get
Okay.
flagged on YouTube.
Fresh have kisses. All right. Have a good one. Bye. Got turned down, man.
Rejected.
Feels bad, man. I thought we were dating. Oh. I was wrong. Okay, so back to RuneScape. Tried in a season, toxic variant can now be charged without unequipping.
Finally.
Why wasn't this a thing sooner?
Yes, finally.
Why? Why did they make it like this to begin with?
Why are you like this?
Just why?
Yeah, that's a good
Even
change.
even Bodhi said something on his Twitter. He was just
Yeah,
like,
he tweeted it out and it's like, this is the best RuneScape update ever.
yeah, because there's no reason. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
like,
there's
why?
no reason for that to be the case.
It's like you sit down to play RuneScape, and somebody says, "No, you're eating your salad with your dessert fork. You're using the wrong fork," and they get all mad at you.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, dude, I'm just hungry. Like,
we talked about this when it was when it hadn't come into the game yet last week, and we said I also brought up the blowpipe. Why can't you swap out darts in the blowpipe without unloading it first?
yeah,
I feel like they should have updated that too.
J-mods, yeah.
Yeah,
Let them know.
you're letting them know.
Their voices be heard. We demand reasonable quality of life changes, please. Maybe pull it, I guess.
Maybe
You know what
pull
pains
it.
me? The world I have the best ping to is the 2K world, the US one.
Haha.
Yeah, but that's a lie because the quality of the connection in the 2K world is awful.
349 is
Quality
actually
to all of
really
them are
stable.
awful.
361 is fucking dog shit.
It's awful. It's so bad. Why
Yeah,
is it so bad?
I don't know. 349 is my home
It's
world
because
now.
all those dirty 3-tick skillers. Blame them.
Too many actions per minute going on those servers makes them lag.
Somebody actually had a theory like that. I think
Really?
it was Riley, OSRS.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, yeah, they're spamming the server with actions. And I was like, maybe it's more likely that there are a lot of instances. Because I know they
Could
said
be.
that would cause problems, but then again, raids went off without a hitch, so clearly not. I don't know what the fuck it is, but something is really desperately wrong with 361.
Yeah,
I have no clue.
You're definitely right.
And a lot of US players agree that it's
Yeah.
really
No,
bad.
I got 2K a long time ago, and I was like, fuck yeah, a 2K world that's hosted in my country, and then I never played on it again because it's just always horrible.
Has Jag actually acknowledged that it's terrible?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I would like that question answered
They're
sometime.
probably like, we live in the UK, we don't even have to use it. Not our problem.
Not our servers, not our problem.
Hashtag not my
our
world.
servers. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh man. Black Dragon respawn timer's 10 seconds.
King Black Dragon, not just Black Dragon.
Oh yeah, KBD. Sorry.
KBD. Yep. So
You're
they
like,
got
hey, you will address him by his royal title.
he's the king.
Our Lord and Majesty, King Black Dragon.
So he got.
You pay taxes to him, okay?
You swear fealty to the King Black Dragon, Nigel?
I do. I swear 50k of fealty every time I go there, so I don't get crashed.
So, it got the mole treatment, is what Nigel referred to it as last week. So now the respawn timer is good. Good change. Not much to say about
It's
it.
one of those bosses that it was in the game. It used to be a much more significant challenge than it is now.
Yeah.
So now it's like people just farm it for their Slayer task, like in one trip. Like, you know, this used to be the end game boss that you would take all your friends to. Right?
Yeah, what year was
Now
it
it's
that it was the hardest boss in the game? It was a long time ago, but at one point
It
it
was a long
was.
time ago. I
Before
believe
the
it was
release
the
of Jad.
boss. It was the first boss in the game, the very first.
Was it
Yeah.
before, did it predate Barrows, you think?
It was in
Yes.
RS Classic. I
Okay,
believe.
okay.
It
Yeah.
was, yeah. It was in
Yeah.
Classic.
It's either RS Classic or in RS2.
Hmm.
Like right when RS2.
You know, it was actually funny. It's you guys remember growing up and playing the game, and they add new bosses like Jad comes out, and then the wiki says Jad is the strongest creature in game. Previously, this spot was previously held by X, but now it's like if you were to look for KBD in that list, it would be previously held by this, and then 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 KBD was like used to be the strongest boss, and now it's just like fucking weak as hell.
Well, yeah, because the items in the game at that time were, you know, it was very different.
Dragon armor.
Yeah, people really liked going to KBD because it was one of the best ways to get a D med, I believe.
Oh yeah. Imagine wanting a D med now.
Well,
I
it was best
remember-
in slot.
When I used to be intimidated
Gross.
by combat levels.
Oh yeah.
What do you mean?
When you'd see somebody that was a red combat level, and you're just like, oh,
Like
shit.
people or monsters?
Both.
Okay.
Just yes.
Yeah, for now,
Like,
combat
I
level doesn't mean
remember
that much. It's
being
just like
very
stats.
terrified of Jad because he was the highest combat level
Oh
in the
yeah.
game.
You know what always pissed me off though? He wasn't level 720. He was 702. And if you know, like that's how the progression of the creatures in the fight caves go. It's the birds are 22. The next step up is 45. The next step up is 90. The melee guys is 180. The majors are 360. Jad is not 720. He's 702. I feel like it was a fucking typo. It pissed me off.
Well, the way they do the combat levels is, I think the game actually decides the combat level.
Yeah, based on the stats, I guess. But like, oh my gosh, they probably didn't want to make it so they could hit 100.
They
or
were
whatever,
probably
but,
like, yeah, another 20 combat levels is pretty OP actually for
but
Jad.
it's just the OCD, man. It's so bad.
702 is maybe the max level you did at the time. That's possible.
Yeah, that's totally possible.
That is
but it still
possible.
bothered me when I was growing up.
Yeah.
If I
But anyways,
had
now
access to Reddit at the
KBD's a
time,
chump.
man.
He's a chump, man.
Yeah, I
Pushover. Easy. I kill him in proselyte.
Same.
I'm just kidding. I take my bandits out there. I'm a big dick baller.
I'm getting a
Come at
phone
me.
call that just says United States. Like it doesn't even want to tell me where in the United States it's coming
That
from.
seems legit.
I'm not going to answer that.
It's from Trump. You gotta pick up.
The United
He's like-
States is calling. They need me. My country
Heard you
needs me.
talking about my wall. Okay, so I'm not sure which JMod updated the redwood trees. I think it was Mod West, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hats off to him. It looks great.
They do
Yeah.
look nice, yeah. I'm never going to cut them, but yeah, there you go.
Nope.
I might. No. Okay, I won't. Just kidding. It's Hillary asking who you voted for. The RT podcast does not have any information that would lead to Hillary's arrest, okay?
The RP podcast does not endorse either candidate. We'd like to stay neutral, please. Unless one of them would like to sponsor us. We're still looking for a sponsor.
Hey, you want to give us some of your campaign money? Build that wall.
Trump needs stay-at-home dads to build the... Fuck off. Stay-at-home dads. Oh my god.
Feels dad, man. We don't have that emote.
I know, you need to enable it in your chat, Nigel.
74 woodcutting pure? No, even worse. I'm a 73 woodcutting pure. It's suboptimal. You want 72. That's the way to do it. That way you can still cut magic trees, but you have to boost to do it. All right. So woodcutting guild looks great. Make the woodcutting guild great again. We did it. In other news, swap the orientation of inventory icons for enchanted and unenchanted silver jewelry. I think we talked about this last week, right? That the silver jewelry looks really weird.
Oh no, we talked about how the uncharged jewelry counterparts make the imbued ring of wealth look awful. That's what
we talked about that too. But the icon, the inventory icon looked different for charged and uncharged silver jewelry. The charged one was the new model. The uncharged one was the old model, and the old models looked way better, in my opinion.
Yeah, same. The orientation just I don't know, it looks funky for a bracelet or whatever.
Well, the items are just too big. Like the shape isn't a problem. They're kind of like more shapely or whatever, but they're just too big. Like they take up the size of like a fucking chest plate in your inventory. I know not items are like to scale in your inventory, but it just looked odd, like really odd. Caring about what the ring of wealth looks like. Hey, it's important. This is a fashion podcast. Fashion's very important.
The ring of wealth it's not that the model looks bad, it's that the coloration of an imbued ring of wealth with the darkened filter over it because it's not charged just makes it look horrible. That combination of things is just not
weird.
Good. I don't think they thought about that.
Because you have like two coloring effects like applying over top of it. And it looks like if you take two Photoshop filters that aren't meant to go together and like apply them to each other, and it looks.
Or like somebody who's an amateur video editor, they just love those filters, love effects that don't need to be there. Yeah. All right. So what else?
I want to recognize Shane's comment here. Can we discuss the fact that Oak Dice cannot pronounce jewelry?
How does he say it?
I was gonna say I don't watch Oak Dice.
I don't watch Oak Dice, but I imagine he probably says like jewelry or something.
Jewelry?
Jewelry.
Like judge, jury, and executioner?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, Shane, can you type it? Can you just type in the chat for us, like how he
sound
says
it out?
Sound it out.
Burn all the jewelry.
Oh.
Now we're not getting a
No.
sponsor. Jesus.
No.
Rob, no.
Bad, Rob.
I said
Bad.
jewelry.
We know
He said
what you're
jewelry,
going for.
No, you
He said
don't.
jewelry,
Yes, we
just
do.
like oak dice.
Yeah, I said jewelry.
It's
Dude.
just jewelry.
You gotta put it in a
Yeah, like
furnace
that.
to make it, man.
Rob.
It makes sense if you
Rob.
don't think about it.
Rob.
What? I'm being serious.
Nobody's good.
He's talking about crafting jewelry.
It's getting
Yeah.
worse. It's getting worse.
How's it
Rob
getting worse? You
Cutie
take
Pie.
a gold bar and a gem with a mold to a furnace. You put it all in there and you fucking burn it, set it on fire.
Can you make a
Comes
wiki
out
how
ring.
for this, please?
Dude, I will.
No,
I
you
will.
don't burn it and set it on fire. It's metal. You smelt it. You smelt it.
Hey,
You melt the metal.
technicalities.
Set it on fire.
You don't set it on fire. What is even the combustion point of metal?
Hi.
Like, how fucking hot do you have to get metal for it to actually combust?
A lot.
Is that even possible?
Oh my
I don't know
goodness.
enough about physics and chemistry to actually know if that's a thing. Somebody in the chat who actually knows something about chemistry or metallurgy, can you tell me if it's actually possible to like combust metal?
Oh my god. Oh.
Is that a thing we can do?
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think so. I don't think that's a thing. I don't know. I'm a rock chemist. Okay, cool. Lemonier's a rock chemist. We got somebody who knows what they're talking about.
Oh boy.
It's totally possible. Okay, do you have to get it way, 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 way hot for it to combust or combust?
Hey, I have
It's
a
better than
question.
combusting,
I have a
it's
question for
combusting.
you then, Lemonier. Could you tell me why Bulleric is such a fuckwad? Please direct a response to rftpodcastosrs@gmail.com.
Have you actually checked the email? Like, do we have
No.
inboxes?
We have an inbox. I just haven't checked it at all. I mean, let's be honest. Do you think that anybody from last week emailed us? Do you think that they did?
I don't know.
I'm gonna check right now. Okay. I'm gonna
Vaj says, all I know is jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
check. Jet fuel can't make steel beams spontaneously combust.
You could just strap C4 to it, they don't combust.
Shit. I didn't
Do
have
I
my
think?
browser
Do
save
you
the
think
password.
I'm going to smelt my gold jewelry in game with C4?
I mean,
We have dynamite. It's a thing. That's a use for dynamite.
yeah.
How can we make dynamite more useful in the game?
Blast forging.
Blast forging. That makes 0 sense, but it sounds totally awesome.
Doesn't it?
You guys, I can't check the. I forget the password for our emails.
Oh my God.
I didn't have my browser save it. I guess I can't. I don't know what it is. I wonder if it's the same thing as our Twitter. Hang
It
on.
might be the same.
It's
as the
probably the
yeah.
same as
Please be the
Twitter,
same.
I imagine.
Oh yeah, it's the same. Okay. Good.
Okay, good.
Good.
Good, now I can access the email.
Let's see if we got any emails. Oh, new login to Twitter from iPhone.
That was me.
Yep, and then we got. Holy shit! We got a fuckload of spam in the promotion tab, the social tab. We got 50 plus
Those are
emails
spam.
in the social tab.
Told you.
It's all like people
Nice.
following and retweeting, and oh my god, look at the Twitter notifications. They're out of control.
Disable them Twitter notifications on the email.
I need to do that. How do I do that? I don't know if now's the time, but I need to do that.
RFD podcast opens up an office.
We need a secretary.
Rob's the secretary.
Nah, it's Shane. Look at his beautiful flowing locks.
Oh, that's true.
They get him a desk.
Yeah,
Bitches love
Captain
desks.
He gets chef butt fat for it.
Oh yeah.
bitches love desks. Just let that sink in for a second.
Yeah. He's like,
Should
did
be able
Chase
to put
actually say
dynamite
that?
in your POH and blow it up.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Hmm.
We don't advocate RS terrorist attacks, okay? All right, man. Like Duriel 321 was bad enough. We don't need Google it bombing people's houses with dynamite.
Oh, boy.
So there were some topics we were discussing that were related to RuneScape, I think.
I don't even remember.
A warning message is now provided when trying to bury a bone inside a POH.
Yes.
Drew had a question about that.
I haven't used it. I don't think any of us have done it. Has
There's no
anyone been
reason
praying
for me to
prayer
do
in the
it.
POH?
So.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you're 99.
I have
The prayer pet. That's totally
better not
definitely
be
going to
one.
happen.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Alien with the Anil in the chat.
Let me see if I can open up our Twitter on my phone and read what his question was.
Yeah,
Is
there was
Drew
some
included?
there were some Twitter questions.
Yes, it was
Um,
Drew, correct? Drew asked
Yeah.
about.
Drew asked one, and I think Optimus also asked one. Optimus.
Yeah, he did.
He was asking kind of like more personal questions, like Twitch streaming questions. I think we have one or two other things here left in the RuneScape stuff.
Yeah.
An unnecessary delay after checking the health of a fruit trees has been removed. That's been in the game for a really long time. The weird delay. I don't know if you guys experienced it. Maybe you haven't done as many tree runs as me.
Oh, for the fruit trees or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
you would check the health of it, and it just wouldn't.
It's like 3 seconds of hang time, and then you get the XP.
Yeah,
drop.
you just sit there.
But it was only for fruit trees, right?
No reason. Yeah, it was literally only fruit trees.
Regular trees and like Calquat spirit trees, all instant. Fruit trees have a delay, or had a delay.
Yeah, it was just really weird. There was no reason for it to be like that.
Yeah. Drew asked thoughts on warnings on bones in POH versus OS Buddy's feature to remove the bury option. Also, what other warnings would you like to see? So it's just kind of to dick over clients for the most part, like do what they already do, kind of.
Yeah. While we're on the topic of third-party clients, I was talking about this in the CC with some people. This was really late at night. So OS Buddy recently announced a feature that basically there's this third-party software called what is it? Oh, it's called something on top. But basically, it lets you cut a section of the program out, like kind of like how you do in OBS, right? So you can like cut out a portion of the program, and you can just move that anywhere on your monitor, and you can interact with that portion that you cut out. So you can like click on it and stuff. So say for instance, you're playing some other game, you're watching it on Netflix, you cut out the section where you can do alchemy, and you just move that on top of your Netflix, and you can just do alchemy while watching Netflix, not even really having the game open. So on top replica, yep, that's what it's called. Yeah, there's programs like that, and then it's like between like the OpenGL render distance thing where you could click like 2 times what the fucking normal render distance on the client was, and stuff like that, and you know, farming timers and left click options being removed, like click options being removed. Even Conduit has its share of like stuff that I raise my eyebrow at, like the fact that you can remove the defensive attack style and stuff like that.
Really? You can do that?
Yeah, I know you can do that.
Oh.
It may still be in there, it may not be in there, but you used to be able to remove the defensive attack style entirely. So if you were a pure, you would never gain defense XP. Yeah, stuff like that. How is this kind of stuff allowed? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's one of those things.
Because it's definitely pushing the line so much.
When they did the thing that removed the use or the bury option on bones, I could have sworn they were gonna like crack down on that, but they never did. And I was very surprised.
Yeah,
about that.
I thought that was something they should have just immediately just snapped off and said like, no, you can't do that. Because essentially you're paying OS Buddy membership at that point for an advantage over other players.
Yeah.
I mean, third-party clients are already questionable enough, but stuff like this just really pushes the line so much. And a lot of players seem to be okay with it, namely because A, they use OS Buddy. Like half of the players use OS Buddy. Yep. And that's not even like, I'm not even pulling those numbers out of my ass. Like that's
actually factual.
Like
it's been around for
half
so
the
long.
Players use OS Buddy.
Because it started out as Orion, and then they changed it to OS Buddy. It's been around for years.
Yeah, it's been around for a very long time. And I guess players feel like since Jack Mob is heading it up, that, oh yeah, this is all totally cool. Jagex totally doesn't mind this. Whereas I think they very much do mind it. As evidenced by like the farming timer stuff. Now, part of the farming timer stuff is and hit points and stuff like that. Part of that's Jagex's fault, which is that their client server interaction code isn't the best. They shouldn't be sending you all that information about farming code and storing it client side. Yeah, they shouldn't do that. But at the same time, you know, client developers also kind of have to realize, yeah, this is a little OP, right? But they're not incentivized they're not disincentivized in any way to like not just offer the most OP shit they can.
I actually have a point I'd like to make about the developers side of things, because the developers of OS Buddy stand to make a profit. So
yes,
if they release more OP plugins that will attract more people to use their client, they make more money. So of course, from the developer standpoint, there's nothing wrong with making things that shouldn't maybe be allowed by Jagex. But then you look at, like, for example, Conduit. We all use Conduit here, and Conduit doesn't cost
Yeah.
anything for the plugins, so they don't stand to make a profit from OP plugins, which is maybe part of the reason why Conduit doesn't have OP plugins like OS Buddy does usually.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Before Conduit really came out, and before RuneLoader got its big significant update recently, OS Buddy didn't really put out that much stuff. They weren't really actually making that much updates. They were kind of just sitting back and farming their OS Buddy Pro cache. But now it definitely seems like they're making a big push to make really big updates, like OpenGL. I know OpenGL was in the work for a long time, but OpenGL is like a big thing. It's really big. I don't know.
It's kind of a weird gray area because third-party clients are already in a gray area of what should or shouldn't be allowed, how you should be able to play the game.
It's just like AHK, right? Which is it was not explicitly disallowed, but technically it totally was.
Well, I think it's already in a gray area because it's not the official game client, and what you can do is already like all the things that are offered to you are different. And then when they add stuff like, I mean, when they added resizable, for example, officially, that was a really big update. People didn't have to play it fixed anymore. And then OS Buddy's update to have OpenGL made it the same kind of impact, I think, on the people who use OS Buddy, but it's no longer licensed by Jagex, so it's like they're constantly pushing what people can do, and I just feel like at a certain point, Jagex isn't going to be okay with that anymore. Yeah,
I think there may come a day when Jagex cracks down on third-party clients the same way they crack down on AHK.
Yeah,
I think it will happen. I don't know if it'll be soon. It might be years from now, but I think it's in Jagex's best interest at some point to just probably buy out OS Buddy, to be honest. I don't know if that's viable or what they would want to do, but
I think that they could either do that or just make it so that their official client is a bit more competitive with what third-party clients offer. Because like somebody in the chat said they don't have the world map even in the official client. That's something people love to have, and they could definitely add it back if they wanted to spend the time on it.
I think more people would use the official client because the official client runs the best.
It does, yeah.
It's the most lightweight. It has the least crap on top of it, right? So it runs the smoothest. Period. It has the best memory usage out of all of them because all the other clients doesn't have emojis. Because all the other clients, the reason that they're allowed to do what they do is because they take the vanilla client and they import it into theirs. So they take the vanilla client, they load the vanilla client every time they run. It's essentially you're running the vanilla client, but then they run a bunch of crap on top of it. So by default, they all run worse than the official client, pretty much. Except for OS Buddy's OpenGL kind of really changes that a lot because they've got to do some voodoo to make that happen. Let's get off third-party clients.
Okay.
I don't want to talk anymore about that because I think, I don't know, I might get
people
upset.
are kind of familiar with the topic anyway. It's not like we're bringing a whole lot of new insight.
Exactly. There might be a little bit of butthurt if somebody says the wrong thing too. Right. Is there anything else we care about in the game updates?
Change that affects rating with bigger parties. It says the capabilities for healing of the ice demon encounter is adjusted for larger parties. So apparently Thoboing put out a tweet about it. He said that it's now super not viable to do ice demon in large parties because the healing is ridiculous or something, and it's hard to communicate with people in a big group, so it's just not a good thing to do anymore.
Yeah.
So it sounds like they balanced it, but if you want to raid a big party, they made it bad.
The scaling was wrong. The boss fight's not. There's nothing wrong with the boss fight.
Right.
What's wrong is the scaling of the boss fight. It doesn't scale well to the amount of players.
I just think it's interesting though because now that it does scale better, quote unquote, to the right amount of players, the big amount of players, some people who do raids all the time are now saying that you can't do it with a big team, which defeats the purpose of raids having perfect scalability. It should be an option without it being horrible.
Well, I mean, this is a problem they have in other games too that have large party content, right, and scale to your party size. Like I know this is like a thing in WoW, at least, or other games I have rating, is that scaling was sometimes really off. If the content had scaling, and it would have to be rebalanced over the course of time once players kind of figured things out. So I think it's just normal. Harry had a good question from the chat I saw a second ago. He said, do you guys, as hardcore players and streamers, believe the hype of Iron Man is dying or growing? What is your opinion on Iron Man?
Personally, I think it's dying down a bit. I think a lot of people have seen it for the most part. Like, it's been around for a few years now. Lots of people have done Iron Man in-game. We have Max Iron Man now. Like, I think a lot of the hype is dying down for it. Like, we are a very small portion of the community.
But I will say, Iron Man are a high portion of the streamers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that is the reason people play Iron Man now. Is like it's the default go-to for, hey, I can stream a shitload of this game.
It's certainly more appealing because then you feel like you're sharing your struggle instead of just doing it on your own time with nobody to appreciate it. And I don't think it's dying down on Twitch for that reason. I don't think it's dying on Twitch at all. But I mean,
and not on YouTube either.
It's also decreased a little bit though, because there was a time after the release of that everybody was watching Iron Man streamers, and if you were an Iron Man, you would automatically get like a certain percent more views than somebody who was a main. And I think that dynamic has changed. Now mains are still competitive on Twitch views wise, but
yeah, Skillers get a lot more views now.
Yeah, they do.
I'd say the portion of Twitch in terms of RS that's dying, PKing. I don't see nearly as many PKing streams. It used to be that the top streams were PKing streams.
PKing and staking was huge for like a year. And then I don't know, I think people got tired of it because a lot of it's funny to say in a grindy game like this, but a lot of it was the same stuff all the time, right? Yeah. And now it's I think PKing is underrepresented because they're still like the top streamers that PK, like Skidler and Pure Spam, but when they're not on, there's usually like one person streaming PKing and the rest of them are streaming Skilling or Iron Man for the most part.
The late night cleanup crew of Mint Mad Cow and Carol's doing the PKing for the US, carrying it for the US team.
And also Andre.
Or
I don't know if you guys have seen that guy, Andre777. Little sellout. He's got a very similar channel size to mine at the moment, but he's been pulling a shitload of views.
Graph still plays, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's also on the nighttime crew. But he's got the same number of followers, but he gets like 100 viewers a night doing his deep willy PKing, it seems like.
Yeah.
So there's still a market for it.
I think there's actually, it's actually a really good niche is PKing because it's kind of exclusive now. Not that many people offer it, and there's still definitely a community for it.
Yeah, definitely.
But the amount of people that are interested in streaming PKing is way less people interested in just streaming it. And I don't know what the reason for that is. Maybe it's because PvP hasn't gotten the love it should. Maybe.
We're just not going to go there. All right, Usopp. Okay. Shh.
Shush. Can we get a commercial for Iron Man? A hair commercial style of people flipping their hair. Girl with a sexy voice. Choose to limit yourself.
Do you want to stand alone like I do?
Today. I mean, I think part of the reason people really like YouTubing and streaming Iron Man is because, like you said earlier, like there's like all these struggles that are kind of unique to Iron Man. And like every Iron Man has experienced some of these, and it's immediately relatable. You're like, oh, I remember when I did that. That was cool. My buddy did this. You know, I got it like this. My buddy went really dry. You know, there's all these stories, right? Everyone's got all these stories. Every Iron Man story is sort of unique, sort of interesting. Oh, I chose to do this instead of this. Oh yeah, I decided to get my Dragon Warhammer first. I did the normal thing, but I went really dry. Everyone's got some interesting story for how their Iron Man went. You know. And I think that's part of the fun. It makes the game feel a little more unique. You feel like you stand out a little bit more, I think.
Unmute Rob,
I think
please.
that's part of the reason you do it.
I'm not muted. I just don't want to talk over people.
The chat wants to unmute you.
I'm not a dick.
No, Rob is characteristically more quiet than Nigel or I.
Stop.
What?
You're not allowed to talk.
Oh.
It's all me right now.
Down.
No, Nigel, stop. Nope, I have to talk.
What do you want to say?
No, stop.
Give us some substance.
Nope.
You got the volume. Where's the
no,
substance?
Stop. No, quit. All right, I'm done playing RuneScape now.
That's all it took.
Yeah.
And then Chase never logged in again.
Don't worry, I was memeing. I'm still
Rob
playing.
is Nigel's bottom. You got it.
I like to watch.
We all like to watch.
Okay, Will likes to watch. I think trying to get back to RuneScape, we should probably cover this week's poll, right?
We had a poll?
Yeah.
There's a PvP poll
it's the
going
PvP
on right now.
quality of life poll.
The PvP-ness poll.
I'm gonna
about
do it.
PvP-ness and everything related to PvP-ness.
I'll let you guys know how I vote. I don't PvP. Let's see. I'm gonna
Also,
vote. All right.
PvP-ness was a really funny World of Warcraft guild that they had to disband and rename. Can you wonder why?
Yeah, dude. You can buy emblems.
Because no fun allowed. That's why.
Yes. I like that.
All right. So the first question: Tier 1 bounty hunter emblems tradable in Grand Exchange.
I voted yes to that.
Yeah. Why not?
Many people buy Rune Pouch that way. Why not have it?
The only reason this could be a problem is if they don't fix emblem farming.
That's true. That's true. I don't really think of
If
that.
they don't fix emblem farming, that changes kind of bad. Because currently, emblem farming I don't think is as big a deal. Because if you want to do something with those emblems, currently the best way to dump those emblems and get your money out of them is to buy like like rune chest plates or whatever and alch them. It's the best way to get your money out of it. Or you can buy like some armor or whatever and alch it. It's the best thing to do. So I don't know. As long as they change that, I'm cool with it. Next question is: should the drop rate of mysterious emblems from wilderness possibly be increased to 1 in 5? It would still be possible to receive emblems as a drop in World 318. Hell to the yes.
Yeah, I voted yes.
I didn't want to boost emblems on my Iron Man, but I did because it was the only viable way to get your rune pouch. Like that's all I wanted. I just wanted a rune pouch. Everyone's like, "Oh, just boost it tier 10." No, I only boosted just what I needed for the rune pouch, and then I never boosted bounty hunter again.
Yep.
Just what I needed, the bare minimum. Didn't do it ever again.
Yep.
With this, with 1 in 5 drop rate, you don't even have to do that. It's great.
No, you don't. I mean, you still need like 24 of them to get 1 rune pouch, but that's much better than boosting.
Oh yeah, that's much better. Like, you go kill like Crazy Arc or something.
Yeah, I'd much rather do it.
Fanatic.
Yeah, that's what I did for my first emblem, by the way. I didn't farm for my first emblem. I killed the wildy bosses in 318 to get my tier 1, and then I boosted from there because I felt like that was more fair, right? Like it's still not fair that you're boosting emblems. Like it feels really gimmicky and broken to me. But it felt a little bit better going and getting the first emblem like the way you should.
I personally don't feel like Iron Man should have had anything to feel bad about because PKing is entirely useless content for Iron Man. There's nothing in it for you, so why should you be forced to do it for this one very useful item? How so?
Bragging rights.
I killed somebody on my Iron Man.
You know the kind of bragging rights you get when you whip someone's ass with your Iron Man in the wilderness?
So then I'm going to come in and be like, so what loot did you get? Oh, wait.
What loot did you get? That guy's pride.
Got some bones.
His dignity.
Do you even get bones? Can you even pick up the bones if somebody dies?
I don't know. I think you can pick up the bones, yes.
Okay, that's why I thought.
Because when people die, you can pick up their bones. Yeah. When they die to like PVM. Iron Man's made purely for bragging rights? Pretty much.
You're not wrong.
Iron Man is made purely for dick measuring. It's the entire purpose of it existing. It's like, hey, look how good I am at this game. Check it out. Look how little free time I spend on other things.
Look how little I see the sun.
My complexion is so pale. My skin is so
I voted yes to all but one question.
What do you vote no to?
Changing the experience you get for splashing teleblock.
Okay.
I think I skimmed that one.
I voted yes to everything else. Like, it doesn't affect me whatsoever because I'm never going to use it.
What's your reasoning for voting no?
Giving other players more experience for it. I mean, whenever you splash something, you get the full experience anyway, typically. So, I mean, I don't see why that would need to be different. It would keep it in line with every other spell in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of right. Well, no, actually, I think other spells, when you successfully cast them, at least like combat spells usually, when you successfully cast them, you get slightly more XP because you get XP for how much damage you deal.
Yeah,
but I don't know true though.
Teleblock's not a combat.
I don't know if that's true for stuff like curse, vulnerability.
No, it's not true for combat spells anyway. You can have a minimum XP drop barrage and do 0 damage and still free someone. That's a successful cast. It still only gives you 52 experience for the cast.
Yeah, well, because you get additional XP based on how much you hit.
Right, but there's no additional for successfully casting it by itself.
True.
Just the damage.
The successful cast part doesn't do it.
Right.
I suppose. But, I mean, from a PvP quality of life standpoint, which is what this poll is about, I argue that for playability purposes, it makes sense. And I would want the same thing with binds. I believe that's why binds do damage, right? Is so that because binds do like somewhere between 1 and 5 damage, or it depends on the level of the bind. But it's part of the reason I think that binds do damage. And so you can know when you successfully casted it. You know when you've TB'd someone. You know when you've bound someone. So you can immediately make your switch and start getting at them. So you don't have to cast another TB. From a playability standpoint, it's totally right, in my opinion, to vote yes to that.
I didn't think about it in that capacity.
Rob is the average poll person.
Game gains. We've already kind of moved off of third-party clients. We were kind of getting stuck on it.
Yeah, we already gave our opinions on it. If you want to see it, watch the YouTube video, or after we're done broadcasting here, you can watch the past broadcast.
Or go to kidsofage.com/podcast.
Kidsofage.com.
All right, so yeah.
So what else we got here? Wines of Zami. Should they be added to the spawn in the temple in 35 Wilderness? This wine would be telegrabbed. Players who have completed the hard diary would receive them in noted form. Oh, baby.
I didn't read that part, but I voted yes anyway.
I can't wait to get PK'd picking up my Zami wines for 99 herb.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
What about my question? I think we're going to save it for the end, Optimus.
Yeah. Typically, we like to exhaust our topics and then do questions. We've just kind of like taken a couple in the middle that were pertinent.
Let's see here. Should Bounty Hunter minigame only take place in level 1 to 5 wild on 318 rather than the entire friggin' wilderness?
Pretty sure I voted yes to that.
Yeah, there's gonna be some people vote no. I think the way they discussed this on the Q&As, they said it would be a toggle, where you like toggle it off and on. I think. Because for a lot of people, the friggin' lamest part is when you get a target and it's like, hey, your target is like in level 40 wilderness. You're like, oh well, he's in multi with a team. Fuck that. Yeah. You're like, I'm not telling you not to this dude at Callisto. Because you can bounty hunter tell you that guy.
That's true.
You're probably gonna get de-speared into oblivion, but you could do it.
Listed then you're in a clan afterward.
It's actually the fastest way to do to charge orbs. You get yourself as a target and you have yourself stationed there at the air obelisk. You just run to the bank after you're done and teleport right back.
That's actually really smart.
Yeah, there's a lot of this is one big reason a lot of Iron Man boosted rune patch or not rune patches, emblems. So they can unlock bounty hunter telly. You and your friend get each other as a target on 318, and then for 30 minutes you get to enjoy the fastest air orb charging in the game. One guy stands at the obelisk, you teleport to him, you start making, he goes and banks, teleports to you, you bank, rinse repeat. If you're both 3-ticking, you can make like a stupid amount of
1700 an hour.
Yeah, it's like so fast. It's so fast.
And to put that into perspective, normally doing it, if you do it just make all, it's about 300 an hour. 3-ticking it, it's upwards of 800. So you're getting nearly 1,000 more an hour.
Yeah, it's bonkers. Super good.
It's dumb. It's fit.
Yes.
It's fucking weird.
I actually thought about getting more emblems for doing that, and then I realized that 99 crafting is not nearly as hard now. Not nearly as hard. Because now we have gem rocks. It's like 4 million crafting XP you just get as an Iron Man. 30 minutes of fast XP after 4 hours of skipping targets. That was good, man.
500 equal 1,000. 800 to 1,700 is 900. I don't know where you took 5 from.
The difference between making them normally is 300 if you're just running all the way out there and making them 300. If you're if you're running all the way out there and 3-ticking them, it's like 700 800 depending on how on it you are. But then if you teleport to the altar and you 3-tick them, it's like 1,700 an hour. So you get 1,000 more than regularly 3-ticking them. Basically what he was trying to say. So he was saying 300, 500, or sorry, 300, 800, or 1,000 more. It's kind of
normally doing them, just AFKing them 300 an hour. 3-ticking them without the teleport, around 700 an hour. With the teleport, 3-ticking, around 1,700 an hour. Or I'm sorry, 1,800 an hour.
Yeah, it's really fast. Very, 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 very fast. All right.
So like there are 3 different methods of doing it, and I was covering all of them.
So how do we feel about Bounty Hunter not taking place in Deep Wallet anymore? We don't PK, but how do you feel about it?
Don't care.
Don't care.
I think if they want to keep the minigame alive.
What level is the altar? Is it level 6 wilderness?
What
The obelisk? No way. The first obelisk?
What are we talking about? Which one?
What are you talking about? The charging for charging orbs?
Yeah, the air obelisk.
I don't think
level
7.
wilderness isn't in.
7. Okay.
It's in 7. So yeah, this would remove that method. Couldn't do that if this is passed. Feels bad, man.
Other than that, I don't think it fucking matters. I think that it's good because if, like we said earlier, PKing is the part of the game that's dying the most. If they want to keep Bounty Hunter alive, not having people get targets that are way the fuck away from them is a good thing.
Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of just like, it's a cool skilling method. I never got to abuse it. It seems really fun, but I think you're right. For like the good of the game and for the good of PvP, it's probably the right thing to do to vote yes to this.
It's not passing at all though. Like not even close to passing.
Because I think for some of the reasons we mentioned, but like we talked about in the first podcast, players vote selfishly. That's how polls work.
Yep.
Players ask the obvious question, which is, how does this affect me, the consumer? And they vote with that mindset. How is this going to benefit or hurt me?
Unfortunately,
so everyone likes the poll questions. Anyways, the next question: should tradable items be dropped within PvP areas pure instantly?
I think I abstained from that one.
Yeah, because basically the way people abuse this is they're getting PK'd. They know they're gonna die because they're full TB. There's a team on them, whatever. They know they're gonna die. So what they do is they take off their valuable equipment except for their tank gear that they're wearing because they might try burning or whatever. And what they do is they drop their equipment in a very particular area and they tell their buddy to come and pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
They say, "Hey, I dropped my equipment here," because I mean a lot of these guys PK with teams or whatever. They tell one of their teammates, "My items are right here. This tile. Go pick it up." And they're gonna just keep running and try to bring all those guys with them. So they're gonna die far away, only drop like a portion of their gear for the people that PK them, and their buddy's gonna pick up all their valuables.
I think that should still be a viable thing to do to save some of your stuff.
I think it's kind of scummy.
It is scummy, I think.
Yeah,
I think it's scummy from the point of view of the person who stands to gain something from PKing you successfully, but at the same time, I think that's something you should be able to try to do out of self-preservation of your own bank.
I disagree. I think if you're in the wilderness, you're fair game. You should know that you're risking your shit that you take with you. If you get PK'd, that's on you.
Yeah, but if you get PK'd and you're still holding it, then yeah. But if you have the presence of mind, and not everybody does, to drop it and drop it fast enough, although the fast enough argument is going to kind of go away after the shift drop comes into the play. So I guess with it being so much easier, I might agree with you then.
I mean, at that point, you could, fully take an entire set of armor. Like, you could take, full max mage or whatever.
Well, you also have
Go
to
out
realize
there.
you're
A team better drop everything.
You're still risking it, though, because there's no guarantee that your teammate's going to come get it in time, or you're going to get back to the wilderness in time, or that somebody's not going to stop you from picking it up if they're still there. It's still a risk. It's just, I think it's like an instinctive thing, and I don't hold that against people who are trying to save their stuff.
Well, I mean, they're only able to do that because of the current game mechanics, right? What we're saying is, like, should it be an option at all for you to do that? That's kind of what this poll question is about.
I mean, I abstain from it, so if it passes, if it were to pass, I wouldn't care that much. I just don't.
Yeah, like
I wouldn't begrudge somebody who does that as a method of saving their stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't PK, but personally, I feel like it's a bit of an abuse of the game mechanics. It's not really. It's pretty feels bad if you PK somebody who clearly had like a big risk and you PK them and I'm getting 200k worth of robes,
And they did make this change back in the day with no poll. They did do that.
Yes.
So
eventually they decided this is the way it was supposed to be. But I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel like really.
I feel like both a lot of PKers and a lot of PVMers are going to vote no to this. I feel like it's a change that benefits the game, but portions of the community don't like it.
Yeah.
Because they feel that this mechanic benefits them. It's questions like this are tough and they almost never pass.
Well,
because
Pwn strength 95. Your point. It says they drop a few items and think they can back, and they can get back in 20 seconds. Like it's true with teleport tablets. Like it makes it very easy sometimes. Like Wiggled posted that video on Twitter, right, of him dropping a bunch of shit and then using a wilderness teleport tab to get back instantly right to where he dropped his stuff and get his stuff back. But as I was saying to Rob, it's still a risk because you don't know that you're going to be able to manage that.
But like, I don't think you should have the option to. I think if you take shit into the wilderness and you die with it, or well, like you die to begin with, you get PK'd. It should be over at that point. Like you should know that you're risking something.
Yeah, you lost.
Yeah,
is what how I feel about it. Like you lost. You got killed.
That's a fair point.
The whole point of risking items is you're risking them.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm not upset
like I was
either
trying
way.
to say earlier, though, is like these questions almost never pass because a portion of the community abuses it's like when they pulled removing Nightmare Zone, like the AFK Nightmare Zone. A portion of the community uses and abuses this game mechanic. They're not going to shoot themselves in the foot. You can't ask them to do that. It's game integrity. This is a game integrity question, is what it is.
Yeah, it's true.
And why is it on the quality of life poll? You know, the questions like this always make me scratch my head. It's like, how are you going to ask players to vote against their own self-interest? Those questions never pass. And and if we expect these kind of questions to pass, 75% is ridiculous, right?
That's true. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with the poll system, so that's fine.
No, nothing's wrong with it.
No,
we had a poll to make sure the poll system was good.
Yeah, and the community basically told everybody, no, it's good. Don't want to change it.
It's good. It's fine. We don't want any changes. It's great. Perfect.
No intrinsic problems there.
That's still the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
the changing the poll.
The poll about changing the poll because we think there might be problems with the poll, so we're polling it.
It just sounds dumb saying it.
Iron Man should have 3/5 vote. Lemon, you're a filthy man.
Goodness.
Shut up. Go make me some boochies.
Where's my overload, bitch?
What's the next question here? Food and noted potions dropped in the wilderness never appear for other players. So this basically prevents singles teams from ragging the fuck out of you. Pretty much what it's for. I'm gonna vote yes. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only way you should get food or supplies is if you kill someone. If you own their ass, you get their food.
That's fair.
Yeah. If they still have any.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
If they're bad and they didn't eat all their food. Yeah, pretty much we all just agree. Yep. So it should be a thing. Okay, should the bounty hunter overlay display whether or not your target's skulled?
I said yes to that. No reason not to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for the sake of the mini game.
Yeah.
Because I mean, ultimately, that's what a lot of these questions are about. It's like, how do we make this like slightly less awful for PKers?
Yeah, they just
they
they realize that it's not very active these days, and they want to kind of improve that. Which is it's also another problem with the poll system, because if they think that it would improve this mini game and keep more people playing it, then maybe they should just make the changes for the good of the game rather than polling them, knowing that a lot of people are going to be biased and vote no because they want to abuse mechanics, or they want it to stay the way it is. They think it'd be good for the game.
Fuck PKers.
If they do that though, they're gonna get so much backlash for going around the poll system, and it's just like it's gonna cause a lot of problems for them.
At a certain point, though, they get backlash for literally every update to some extent, and
they do, but it's gonna be another shit storm.
You can never make everyone happy. Is the thing.
Like they banned AHK for the good of the game.
Yeah,
that was completely a game integrity thing.
They banned NMZ
so many
after
people fucking rioted about it.
Yeah,
they banned splashing after polling it. Again, it blows my mind that they pulled those things. The players overwhelmingly said, "No, we want these things," and Jagus was like, "Nah." Why bother pulling it in the first place?
People write about any stupid thing though. Like they're always gonna have backlash.
Yeah, but we
but not on the same scale.
But at a certain point,
the player base does agree that those things should definitely have been removed. And the biggest problem is that Jagex didn't do it sooner.
Yeah.
Because lots of players got to abuse NMZ and splashing to 99s.
True.
They're so like I feel like the reason why there's a big push for it end game PVM content, right? Because you always see people asking for like, we need more high level content, we need more high level PVM. It's always something you see people asking for. I think a big reason for that push, so many players are maxed combat or close to it, or at least max melee, because of AFKing and splashing. So many players just got to, basically not play the game and have a level 124 account.
Yep.
I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way, but that's how it is.
Could we rub you the right way?
You could. Maybe it made it at TwitchCon. Rub me the right way.
Okay. Get some time away. Like snag an empty room at the event. Make people uncomfortable if they walk in on us. That'll be fun.
Well, if they're from KOA, they'll watch.
Yeah, that's true.
Kraken splashing 99 mage. Yeah, I mean, I feel like so many people in the community abuse those things, and that's the unfair part about it. Not necessarily that it got removed, but that it got removed so late.
Do people actually splash on the
many
Kraken?
people were. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Why?
Because if you attack it, you get like full XP or something, but it doesn't come out of the ground. I don't remember exactly how it works.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
because if you don't
attack
the tentacles, you can just fight.
You get more XP.
You get XP as if you were damaging it, but you never start the encounter.
Yep.
That is fucking broken.
It's really smart.
Yeah.
Do that for 6 hours, baby.
Damn,
I
dude.
fucking would.
Yeah, but to me, the worst part about that stuff was that it was so obvious. So many players knew about it. So many players did it. And it was so heavily abused, and then it was taken away. It was in the game for like well over a year, right? 2 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Like I think a very large portion of the community AFK their asses off to 120 combat, like 120 plus combat, and now we've got all these high level players demanding that Jagex cater to them, right?
Yeah.
When in reality, there probably shouldn't be this many high level players, right?
No.
Yeah, they didn't really have to work for it.
It's illegitimate. But maybe Jagex kept it in the game because they wanted a high level player base. I don't know. Maybe they think it's more interesting. Or maybe they just couldn't figure out a way to get around it.
I know some JMods used it themselves. Like I know back in the day before I started streaming on one of the Q&As, Matt K was talking about how he was splashing on chickens and lumberds right now on his account.
Ooh.
While he was like sitting in the fucking podcast room.
Mm-hmm. It's
They were
filthy.
all
Maybe
having a good joke
they
about
waited to remove it until Matt K got his 99.
He's like, guys, I'm a senior member of this team. You will wait.
You will wait until I get my 99 magic to remove this. Well, I mean, I think we said our piece about that. I don't know. I feel like some of these poll questions kind of fall more in line with game integrity.
I think,
and we felt
definitely
that way about the poll. They've said that they don't poll game integrity stuff, but they do.
They do. They definitely do.
Or do they finally draw the line and say, no, this is definitely game integrity. We're just doing this.
It goes back to the whole statement about how this game is just infuriatingly inconsistent in a lot of aspects. This is just one of the many ways.
Is this
they have no
make
consistency.
Make all, make X for the poll system? Is that
so the make all, make X? It's all the different developers that worked on the game, so nothing matches. It's the blanket statement finally coming about AHK where they were inconsistent about enforcing it before. It's like it's just one of those flukes, one of those quirks of playing this game.
Well, I hope one day, like, Jagex is slow to fixing things, but usually they try to do the right thing eventually.
That's true.
The people that work on the game care about it, and some of them know what they're talking about different aspects of the game, and eventually they will arrive at a good conclusion for the players, I think. I definitely have more faith in Jagex than I do in other game companies, because I've definitely played other games where the community will come with their concerns, and the developers say, "Hey, you already paid for our game. How about you fuck off?"
Yeah, they just don't care a lot of the time.
Yeah, Jagex is better.
I like the old school team a lot.
Other companies.
Overall, they do a good job, and they do, like, Reddit nerds will say that they don't, but they do care about the integrity of the game, and they do care about its future.
Activision, yeah.
So let's not even
Start on that.
How many times can they lie to us and people still buy their games? Let's find out. The next exciting edition
Hey, we
of
got
Call
this.
of Duty.
We got this new
Modern
Battlefield
Warfare
game.
2 is still broken.
What I think is great, on the while we're on the topic of greater games out there, the Battlefield and Call of Duty. How do you release basically the same game every year and people still fucking pay for it? Like, the difference between Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 is not fucking much.
It's the
Yeah.
engine,
Not
right?
fucking much at all.
It's the engine and the story.
Engine, story, new maps.
New maps. Yeah.
I am getting a little bit of stutter in my connection right now.
Yeah, you're lagging on
Yeah,
Skype,
can
it
hear
looked
it.
like.
Yeah, my connection's hopping up and down.
Ruh-roh.
Hopefully this doesn't keep up. It did it for a little bit yesterday, and then it fixed itself.
We can hope
But we
that'll...
might drop some frames.
No,
Unfortunately. Feels bad, man. But the local recording should still be good. So even if things go wrong on the live portion of it, it'll still be up on the website. And it'll still be up on Chase's YouTube and hopefully my YouTube as well.
Yep.
So yeah, just sit tight.
What else we got then?
Yeah, let's move on to the next couple poll questions. Should Bounty Hunter we already did the Bounty Hunter overlay. Should it display the tier of emblem your target is holding?
I think I voted yes to that as well.
Yeah, I don't think there's any, because people always lie about the tier emblem they have.
Yeah.
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 It's like people who lie
Like,
about their
oh, yeah,
risk.
I've got
It's
a-
just not. It's not
I've
cool.
got a tier 6, and it's like, no, you don't. Jerk. So yeah, I think it's a good change.
Yep.
I think it's common sense. Should the rune cost of the Bounty Hunter teleport be removed?
I don't care.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
voted
don't- I
yes
don't
because I don't
think
care.
I
How OP
abstained.
would that be
Don't
for
care.
for making them orbs? Free teleports.
But if the I mean it's not passing right, but if the thing where they made it so that it was only 1 to 5 wilderness pass, then that wouldn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's one
Yeah.
of those game integrity things I think that shouldn't have been pulled. Fix the abuse method, and then removing the cost of the teleport wouldn't matter so much.
Well,
Well,
I mean, if
skip
people
players with tier 1 emblems. Yeah.
skip them, I mean, they're still going to be liable to the cooldown in half an hour. It doesn't matter. Like, if you get skipped on, you have no penalty.
Yeah. The way
That's
I
true.
look at this is like, players should have the option. They should know. They should be able to make good choices. Empowering the players to make the right choices for them is always the right answer, I think. Like it's bad to make players have to guess and get fucked over. But that makes people feel bad. That makes people not want to play your game because it's
Yeah.
bad game design. Don't make your players guess and get screwed over by other people. Allow them to make the choice of whether they want to get screwed over or not.
Yeah.
Give them the illusion of choice. You're still
we
playing
really
Bounty
have
Hunter. You're still
hosts?
getting fucked either way.
Nigel, have we been hosted at all today?
We must have gotten a host. Right?
We got hosted. We got hosted by Doughboy, I believe,
Oh, cool.
and maybe a few auto hosts from Connection Lost and Kids of Age people. But
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think we've gotten like rated or like a big host or anything.
Right.
I'm not sure how many Thomas hosted us with, but I did appreciate the host from him. He may have hosted us with a couple hundred, but
Yeah, because I checked a
not
while ago and we were at like 220, down to 116 now. But yeah,
I think
So not bad.
Doughboy probably did host us for like 200 then.
yeah.
So we appreciate that, Thomas.
Thank you, Doughboy.
We were just talking about Bounty Hunter skipping. Let's talk about question 10. Should the kill-death ratio overlay track kills and death in the entire wilderness rather than just those beyond level 20?
Yep.
Sure.
Why wouldn't it just track all of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Then we can find the filthy boosters. Kidding. Should splashing a tall block? We kind of covered this earlier. I think that should be a yes. Definitely. Should change tell block so that it can tell you how many seconds remain before you can teleport. They
I
kind of
actually like
discussed
that.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they discussed this on
And it's
Ash
actually
actually
passing.
discussed this on Twitter. He said that currently the way it works, it only checks like it's kind of similar to like the stat boosting changes, right? Where it used to only check every X amount of seconds. And if you got it, say somebody TB'd you and they got a 5-minute TB, like they got a full TB or whatever, when they TB'd you at the wrong portion of the where it counted the ticks, they would actually only get a 4-minute TB.
Mm-hmm.
So the TB timer was up to a minute inaccurate, right? So they say with these changes, you could see because it'll only tell you like a chunk of time, what's left on your TB. Now they would be able to tell you very accurately how long your TB was left. But it has the downside of your TB is pretty much always going to be the amount that it says. The TB timer is going to be accurate. So your 5-minute TB is not going to be 4 minutes anymore sometimes.
I don't see that as a downside, though. That's kind of how it should be. It should last for how long it's telling you. It would be more consistent, which I think, again, we've talked about this a lot. Consistency is a good thing overall in the game. And I
when
think
the game makes sense, players like that.
Yeah, and it would have a real-time countdown until you can be free of the teleblock, which I think is good too.
Yeah. I mean, clients already sort of do that for you.
Does Conduit do that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
When you get TB'd, you get like a little status indicator and it tells you how long your TB is remaining.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I just didn't really pay enough attention to it because I was just trying to run, I guess, at the time.
All right, so we think that's a good change. Common sense change. So last question here. Should teleblocks be removed when you enter a safe zone in PvP?
Sure.
Yes.
Like in PvP world.
Makes sense. PvP worlds are dead anyway. Who cares?
Because when you enter the safe zone, you're just going to like stay in there for TP, right?
Yeah. There's no reason for it not to do that.
Unless you're doing some like weird dancing in and out of the safe zone to like try brid because you're a weirdo. People who dance back and forth and do like 20 switches. Dude, tri-birding is nuts.
Yeah.
I see the gifs on Twitter all the time of people just like the insane switches and everything.
Mm.
I'm just like, I don't get it, but it's amazing to watch.
There are certain things about the game I still don't know how the fuck people do. Like, there was actually a really cool gif that Skidler posted of him PKing a Canifis on a PvP world, and he managed to attack somebody like 5 or 6 or 7 times in a row while moonwalking back away from him each time. Like, he never actually turned, even once. And I don't know how he managed that.
Drew raises a point, which is, this is on PvP worlds. It already gets removed from Wildy. It makes Rusher's life easier. Sort of true, I suppose. It does make things easier for Rushers. Then again, the POH update made things easier for Rushers, but we still voted yes for that.
It's true.
Yeah. Like significant. A lot more than this change would.
Yep. Definitely.
Isn't the counterplay for Rushers usually just fucking kill them? Not really to TB them and
that's a good
make them
point.
mad at you. But
Like,
I mean, no. I guess that is a good counterplay because like they're teleporting their house a bunch, right?
Yeah, you don't want them to
If
go
you
teleport
just
away.
TB
So I
them,
guess
they
that
can't really
does.
rush you anymore.
That is true.
Yeah, no, actually, no, that is good because the way they're going to restore their stats and rush you is because they have to restore their special, right?
Yeah.
No, that is it. Actually, it is a good anti-rush. No, you raise a good point, Drew. Actually, I like that.
But then Sam,
I think I am
counterpoint
actually going to vote no to that.
is that rushing isn't against the rules.
But I mean,
True.
if you're PKing within like the bounds of a safe zone, like within walking distance or whatever, to the point where you could go there and actually get it off of you, I don't really think it'd be a big issue. For me, like I'm thinking from the point of a rusher, it just helps you get back into the fight faster. Like, you get more action, you get more PKs versus TB'd. Better sit in the bank for 5 minutes. Oh, let's go again. Oh, TB'd. Well, let's go sit in the bank for 5 minutes and repeat.
Yeah, but I'm maybe it's because I'm of the mindset of like rushers can go eat a dick because they're kind of abusing. They're kind of abusing the system, right? They're saying like, well, if I can just recharge my special attack and wear void and not really risk anything and just gmaul the fuck out of people, or like declaws to gmaul or whatever, they can basically risk nothing and just continually try to kill people like that.
I can understand not wanting to pander to rushers with any
Okay, but
update.
look, you got to think about it like this. There are people out there that say Iron Man can eat a dick.
Yes,
Now,
that happens very frequently.
But those people are in the wrong, clearly.
Clearly.
No, they're not.
Because they're saying it for no reason. They're saying it because they want to be dicks. Saying rushers can eat a dick, those people play the game to make cheap money without risking anything. So they're in the scum category.
It's
I mean, rushers are kind of equal to habitual PVM crashers.
Yeah.
Basically, they're the crashers of PvP, is what they are, right? They're kind of, you're allowed to do it, but if you do it enough, you're an asshole and you should be punished.
I agree.
Basically, is how I see it. It's to a certain extent, rushers. If you continually rush like the same people, because sometimes people do rushing just to rag, right?
Yeah, they do.
And I want to rag people that are gonna fucking crash me in PVM. I want to be able to teleblock the people that crash me.
Play on PvP worlds, Rob. You can do that.
It's a fair point.
See, that's the fun part about playing on PvP worlds. If anyone's being a dick and crashing, you just fucking kill them. Just murder them. Unfortunately, most bosses are, in multi-combat areas, so you're mostly likely getting de-speared for all you're worth. But
yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna vote no to it. I don't really want to benefit rushers in this way because TB is actually a really good counterplay. I didn't think about that until Drew brought it up.
That is a good
point.
But
if you TB a rusher, he's not restoring your special attack. He ain't leaving. He's just gonna sit in a safe zone for 5 minutes. It's basically telling him, you go sit in that fucking corner and think about what you've done. That's what you're telling him. So you think about this. You're a dick. Stop that. And I think you should be able to do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's good. All right, so we're pretty much out of RuneScape topics, right?
Yeah.
Do we have some stuff from the Twitter?
I think
we
just have
the Drew's question.
We have the question from
Optimus.
Optimus, yeah.
Yeah, we have an Optimus question.
So, would you like to address that
wanna
now?
Also, if you guys have questions in the chat,
yeah, we'll take any questions now.
just do @IronStrix for your question so I can see it. So you start reading his topic and we'll discuss that.
Okay. Pardon me, I don't have it on hand.
That's all right.
I'm just gonna pull it up here.
Just open Twitter.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so this question comes to us from Optimus Bananas, and he says, "This is a question for all three of you. Where do you see yourself on Twitch by the end of the year, and what is your plan to get there?" And I assume that means like, what are your goals to ensure that you're where you want to be, something like that.
Who wants to start with this one?
I nominate Reb.
So, what are my goals for the year, and how do I plan to get there?
Yeah. And
Honestly,
not necessarily what are your goals. It's like, where do you see yourself? So like, you can mention.
I'm either going to be successful or I'm going to quit. Those are my only two options. That's literally it. Like,
I don't agree that those are your only two options though, because you could. I mean, my plan is either I'm going to be successful or I'm going to get a part-time job to help sustain my streaming career, because I'm not going to stop, even if I have to get another job. But what you're saying is that you wouldn't do that? You wouldn't consider that option?
I mean, I'm already considering that option right now.
Okay.
Like, as much as I say it a lot, as much as I don't want streaming to be about money, it kind of is, and it has to be. Like,
well, if you want to do streaming full time,
yeah,
yes,
it's
streaming as a hobby.
That's what Chase is alluding to. If you want to do streaming as a job, the money does matter, because you gotta fucking eat, you gotta pay your bills.
Yeah.
We're not saying that it doesn't matter. I'm just wondering what you're willing to do to keep your streaming going. Because my plan has
Whatever
never.
I can.
So you would consider that option then, not because what you said was, I'll either be successful or I'll quit. Would you quit streaming, or would you get a part-time job and then keep streaming part-time?
I'd probably look into a career somewhere if I can with my degree, or go pursue school again.
I think I have a unique perspective.
I think Rob's just saying the reality of like everyone who attempts full-time streaming, which is not everyone's successful. In fact, there's
a lot of people that aren't.
1% of Twitch broadcasters end up partnered.
0.85%. I calculated that yesterday.
0.85. Less than 1%. Less than 1%
of
Twitch broadcasters end up partnered.
Yeah.
Think about that, guys. Less than 1% of people who broadcast on Twitch make it.
It's an achievement for sure. And actually, I think, Rob, I don't want you to feel like I was being like accusatory, like, oh, you're going to stop streaming if it doesn't work out. I didn't mean that. And I also realized that my perspective on things is a bit different, because a lot of streamers are younger than I am, because I'm fucking old. When it comes to the internet, I'm pretty old. Like, I'm almost 26, and I've already had a career type job, and I didn't want to keep doing it. So for me, there is no
Chase
like
is 26 IRL, but like 50 on the internet.
People keep saying happy birthday, but yeah, like
dad, man.
I will not consider finding an alternative career path, because I've done career stuff before. Like I've done jobs already. I worked in my field, and I just, even with the degree that I enjoyed getting and working in my field, I
What kind of
didn't
crops
want
did you plant in your field?
salt, just salt crops.
Just salt.
Yeah, just
The only
salt.
thing in the
Can't
field.
plant a rock.
Saltiness.
But yeah, no.
Plant crack rocks.
I could understand that
True.
exploring other options is more viable for you. For me, I'm not willing to consider that because I've done other stuff. I've made good money doing something that was more of a typical job, and I thought that I'd rather make less money and do this. So for me, I will do whatever it takes to keep doing this.
That's the thing, though. Like you went from a decent paying job down to streaming.
Yeah.
You had a lot of savings saved up.
Yes.
I started with literally nothing because of my predicament with my parents and how I had to move back in and everything, and they ended up draining my savings on that.
Yes.
Like it was, the only place to go is up, and right now, it's really not happening for the most part. As much as I really do enjoy streaming, and I really do, like I enjoy streaming a lot. I just realistically, I've put in a lot of time. Like I'm about to hit my 1 year on Twitch in 2 days. That's an entire year of my life I have devoted to trying to do this and trying to
I felt a
successful
similar
for
way when
myself.
I hit my 1 year.
Mhm.
I felt a very similar
don't
way.
you-
That's a lot of time compared to what I could make in a year just as a part-time job, like bagging groceries.
Yeah, that's true.
30 hours a week or some shit. Not even that, like 15.
This is
wanna
exactly
die
the
there,
reason people.
astronomically more.
This is exactly the reason people say you don't get into Twitch for the money, because
Yeah.
the reality is, and I'm not sure if a lot of you viewers have thought about this or if this is like opening your eyes about it or anything. You make like half as much as you'd make
At a minimum
with
wage job.
with a minimum wage part-time job,
Yeah.
and you work twice the hours,
Yes.
like easily.
Very true.
Would I enjoy bagging groceries? No, I wouldn't, but
You'd
I'd
want to
have
die
money.
there. Here's the thing, though. You also, I know you started with nothing rather than with savings, but you also have time. You're 20, aren't you? You're only 20.
yeah.
Apparently. And you still don't have like a rent expense or things like that. So you
No, because I'm living with my parents. That's the
Right.
only way I can do this.
Yeah, I know, but I know it's not ideal, and I wouldn't at 25. I'm not going backwards in life. I'm not going to being dependent on my parents again. But I'm also kind of envious of people who are currently at home trying to start streaming younger, who don't have that overhead, because that's. I'm not saying that it's obviously going to work out because of that, but you do have time to keep trying to make it work because of that.
It makes the crunch a little less.
There's a bit less pressure, I think.
I agree with Chase on this one because
Yeah.
when I did start streaming, I had recently just moved back in with my parents because I went from being away at one university to moving back home because that university close to my home is much cheaper and I can just commute from my parents' place, right? So it saved me a ton of money, and I started streaming, and it was great. I've since moved in with my girlfriend, and the financial pressure is a lot bigger. And it's very stressful. Honestly,
Like your progress can be slow.
I
Rob,
don't
and it's not
sleep
the end of the world.
as much as I used to. Honestly,
I'm on pills for insomnia. Like
Yes.
it's just like a bit of more of a pressure. Like I don't want to go back to living with my parents, but at the same time, I have a finite amount of savings. If those run out, I'm fucked. Like I won't be able to keep living where I live.
Like
It's kind of like if you guys haven't thought about this before, people who are starting up on Twitch, you're essentially starting up a small business.
Yeah,
is what you're doing. And a lot of you guys probably know, a vast majority of small businesses fail. They're not successful. They have to stop and they have to go do something else with the rest of their lives. And that's the reality on Twitch. It's it's brutal. Streamers get ground up and chucked out. And the amount of time since I've started streaming, the amount of people that I know that I was good friends with, I thought they were great streamers. The amount of those guys that have just quit because the reality is most people can't do it. They don't make it. They don't get there. That's the reality of Twitch. It's tough. That being said,
sorry, go ahead.
That being said, everyone here on this podcast and everyone in Connection Loss and Kids of Age, all the people that we surround ourselves with, we want to make it. We're literally dedicated to this. We work this full time. This is our job. We take this shit seriously.
Yeah, we take the lack of money compared to a normal job in stride because we love it so much. Like you can,
Exactly.
it's easy to sort out the people who are in it because they think it's easy to make money. But it's a good point you just made, Nigel, and I actually talked about that when I went full time last year. I made a video addressing the fact that I was going full time and how it's kind of a misleading thing because there's a lot of success stories of people saying, I quit my job and it worked out. And the only reason you hear that is because the people that are around to still tell their story are the ones that it worked out for. The ones that it didn't work out for, they're not around. So you hear the failure stories, but the fact of the matter is there's a lot more of them.
It's actually a very naturally occurring phenomenon in business, which is called survivorship bias, which is you don't hear about the people that didn't make it because everyone wants to hear from the people who did make it. You don't hear about, when you hear about a track race, you hear about the guy who won it. You don't hear from the 7 other people who lost, the 7 other people who he crushed to get first place, right? It's just a naturally occurring phenomenon that people want to hear from the winners. That's where it is. So as much as we can, that's why we do stuff like this RFD podcast. That's why we work so hard, because we want to be those winners.
Yeah. So the original question, we kind of deviated a bit, was where do you see yourself in a year or at the end of this year? And I think it's similar boat to Rob. Either I will have achieved my goal of becoming partnered and then it'll be more viably sustainable, which is what I believe that can happen. And I'm going to be optimistic and say that's where I expect to be at the end of this year. But there's a possibility that I won't be there. But that being said, I'm not going to stop streaming either. I've made it very clear on my channel that I will pick up a part-time job and keep streaming if I have to. So I'd say at the end of this year, one way or the other, I'm not going to be gone from Twitch.
Yeah, this is definitely something I've put a lot of thought into myself, and I'm pretty much in the same boat. I think everyone here is kind of like, we're not wrapped up in the whole like Twitch. There seems to be this notion on Twitch, especially amongst people who are trying to do Twitch full time but aren't quite there yet, right? There seems to be this like romantic notion of, oh well, you're not in it for the money doesn't matter, all that stuff. The reality is like, if you're trying to do this full time, absolutely it matters how much you make, because it shouldn't be the reason you stream, but it matters, right? Because you got to pay your bills and stuff.
Yes.
So all of us here are savvy to that reality. We live in the real world. We got to pay bills. It's a reason a lot of streamers only stream as a part-time gig. It's a reason it's really tough to full-time stream. We all realize that, and that's why we're all kind of on the... We really want to make it work within this next year. Like by 2018, we all want to be partnered streamers, because partnered streamer is literally step 0 to full-time streaming. You don't even start on like, I can be a full-time streamer unless you're partnered.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. Financially, it's not viable. And I don't think a lot of viewers know this. I don't think a lot of viewers are savvy to this, but donations are probably kind of like the only reason we're able to make the excuse of, yeah, we can still try pushing for that full-time partnership. We can still keep streaming, 60 hours a week or whatever. I don't know how much you guys stream, but it's the reason we can keep pushing for it and keep going for it. Because to us, it's like we see the love, we see the support, we see the potential, we see where we can be.
Yeah.
We see what can happen.
Like, you get discouraged, right? But then you have a really good day. People are being really generous, and then the optimism flares back up because you see what could be down the line. Exactly.
I've definitely had moments within the last year. I've had days within the last year where I thought to myself, I can't do it. There's no way this can work. Financially, it's just not happening.
Sometimes you just are really kind of like down on the whole thing, and you're kind of just, it's almost akin to being depressed sometimes, because you look at the numbers, you look at your bank account, and you think there's no way this is going to work out. But I also had a day, I think it was in November or thereabouts, where I made far, far more per hour over the course of one stream than I had ever made in my life working a normal job. Like, there was just one day that was utterly ridiculous, and then you think to yourself, holy shit, like that could happen more frequently, and then you wouldn't have to worry. And like, if you look at, this is something I've told all my friends that are enough parts of my life that I want to know that I stream now, that with Twitch there's no floor. You don't start off making any money for sure. With a normal job.
you
There's a
start
floor,
off making literally nothing.
The floor is
you
high.
don't go into Twitch expecting to make anything.
Right. The floor is high with a normal job, but there's usually a ceiling because there's only so much upward mobility you can get with a normal job. Only so many promotions. With Twitch, there's no floor, but there's also no ceiling. You can go really high, and you just have to get your foot in the door enough, get a follower base that likes you and doesn't want you to leave. Doesn't want you to have to stop.
I think we were talking about this a lot. I talked about this a lot in Discord with people, which is that I think the main problem a lot of streamers struggle with isn't necessarily that like the quality of their stream. It's not that their video's bad. It's not that their audio's bad. It's not that they're a bad caster. It's not that people don't like them.
It's exposure.
It's not that they're shit at the game. It's that they don't get exposure. They never find their audience. They never find their people. That's one of the biggest problems on Twitch, is that a lot of casters that have a ton of potential just can't market themselves, can't get themselves out there to find the people that want to watch them. I think that's one of the biggest things on Twitch.
It's saturation as well. Like there's just so many people to choose from. You need to distance yourself from the pack at some point, or you're not going to make it.
Exactly, Game Gains. You guys are our people. You guys are awesome, and we appreciate the fuck out of you. I mean, we're sitting up here saying, where do you see yourself in a year? And we're talking about financial stuff. And that's not what streaming's about, but it's a reality. It's something you have to talk about.
It's a necessity.
But the reality is, the people who show up in the chat, hang out for the stream, the lurkers, the people who come show up, are there for you, are there to hang out. They help you immensely. The people who show up to our streams every single day, that's why we keep doing it. The people who come and show up and make our lives awesome, make things great. Dead. You're dead, Rob.
Unmute Rob. He's dead. He doesn't talk.
He's dead. Yeah, I mean, we've gone on about this topic a lot, so I'll just answer the fucking question, which is, where do you see yourself in a year, Nigel? I see myself partnered on Twitch, 100 subs. We got some, we got some cool emotes. We're doing it big on YouTube. I've doubled my YouTube fan base to 6,000 subs.
YouTube is killing it.
Yeah.
And honestly, I see you partnered next month. I really do.
I crossing my fingers.
If things go as they have been,
we get there.
I mean, your baseline viewer numbers have. I mean, you were like when you were tick manipulating fishing, for example, it was kind of lowish. But now that you're back to good content, your base viewer numbers have jumped right back up. People have come back. And then on top of that, the hosting from the Connection Lost team, like you've been kind of sitting pretty from my perspective.
Yeah, the exposure, like we were talking about earlier, exposure is a big thing.
Super important.
I think that's what makes or breaks new streamers, is how much exposure do you get? How many new people get to find you?
Actually, question for Rob then. Rob, I remember you saying that one of your biggest goals for this year was to make it onto the Connection Lost team.
Mm-hmm. To help with that exposure and get my name out there more.
Is a necessity. And I still believe that you will. I told you I fully believe that you will be one of the next names up for that team. And
I really hope I am, to be honest. Like I never started streaming because I wanted it to be my career, my job. I was in school when I started. I was still pursuing streaming, or I'm sorry, still pursuing my 2-year degree in computer science and engineering. And I had just recently broken up with my girlfriend whenever I started, and I was in a really rough time in my life. And I kind of just started doing it for fun. Like I had free time. I only went to classes 2 days a week because attendance had no effect on my grade. As long as I passed tests, I was cool. So I had shitloads of free time. So I just started it up. It was something fun for me to do and kind of like help myself in just get out of that dark place that I was in. And after I graduated with a 2-year degree in June, like I kind of kept going. Like I was never planning on this being what I was going to do. But, like it's kind of transitioned into that, and me thinking, well, maybe I could make it here. But, like without it, like I don't know.
Actually, Optimus Bananas is the one who asked this question, and he did mention in the tweet that I forgot to say, and now in the chat, that his personal goal is to make it onto a stream team before the year is over.
Let's help him out with that. If you guys haven't seen his stream before, go click on his name in the chat. Go give him a follow. Watch him sometime. He's a cool dude. He hangs out on Discord with us. He's a real nice guy.
Very supportive of the team too. Very nice person. Go support Joe. Optimus Bananas.
Go check him out. He's in our good graces. We think he's a cool guy. All right. So let's move on to the next question. I think this one was from Verf. What are your guys' thoughts on Hardcore Iron Man?
Gimmicky, but
Hardcore Ultimate Iron Man.
Oh, that's different.
Oh, sorry, Hardcore Ultimate. Yes, you're right. Not just Hardcore.
I thought you meant like the mode. Oh, I'd rather die.
Personally, I think it's a lot more interesting than Hardcore Iron Man.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting to watch. I would never do it.
Because Hardcore Iron Man is basically Iron Man, but you're playing like a massive sissy the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Hardcore Ultimate Iron Man is actually a totally different game, right? It's because it takes away the funniest the funniest restriction of Ultimate Iron Man, which is, oh well, you only have your inventory space, you can't bank things. Not really. Like, I can just go die in the wilderness. I got an hour to do whatever the fuck I want, right?
Yeah.
Or I can go die to Zulra and I have a full inventory to go skilling or whatever. So the Ultimate Iron Man restriction isn't really a restriction if you know how to get around it. But Hardcore Ultimate Iron Man is total game changer. Total game changer.
Mm-hmm.
It makes the game mode what it was supposed to be.
I think I would actually watch that because like I think that Hardcore was good in concept, but because of the way people have to play it to avoid death, I didn't think it was that fun to watch, honestly. Like, Lowlander's channel did really well during Hardcore because of his Hardlander account. He was killing it, but at the same time, every time I tuned in, I just felt like his content was not very fun to watch because you have to play in such a conservative manner where you can't do anything exciting. It was just grinding stuff that was safe. And I think that the Ultimate would definitely put a good twist on it for content.
Exactly. Like, it wouldn't change that aspect of things because you're still going to play like a sissy. It'd be totally safe. But there's more interesting choices to be made. You're going to have to make some big sacrifices. You're going to have to do things like, maybe I need to alch this Barrows item. Maybe I can't keep this. Maybe I need to drop my stack of Aventos. Because like it would take me too long to get the more of my Fungus or something. Like, like you might have to make some interesting choices because you're actually really limited. Like, if you want to go skill, you may have to make some tough choices of like, right, if I drop 2 of these items, it's going to make my skilling this much easier / faster. But then I have to go back and get these 2 items again. Whereas on Ultimate, you just go die at Zulra and you don't have to make that decision. It brings up some interesting things that might not happen.
Okay.
Let's move on to the next one.
Question.
This is from Nalra. He asked this several times earlier. He said, would you like to see Nex added at some point, perhaps with different armors? Or do you think Torva, Virtus, Pernix would be balanced in today's game?
I don't personally care to see Nex. I think that Nex, well, this is a non-practical reason, but I think it represents a step away from old school, first of all. But from a practicality standpoint, I don't think the armors are necessary. I think that introducing 3 new armor sets would be a serious power creep problem. They'd have to change it entirely, which means that they're not even going to be desirable to the point that they were before. And I also don't personally like the idea of adding a shitload new degradable armor sets. I don't really like that. I think that if you have to make your armor sets or your weapons or whatever degrade to balance them properly, then come up with something better.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of agree. Like, I think that Nex is okay for the game, like, but I'm not sure about the rewards because the problem is, I think a lot of people would rather go for Torva, Virtus, Pernix. I think they'd rather go for those sets than what we got for raids, the Elder Armors, because of nostalgia. I think that's the biggest reason those raid armors didn't pass. I think it's the biggest reason they were dead in the water, because nostalgia. People like Bandos. People like Arma. They like those armors. They want those armors to be. They're like it's iconic. They don't want those armors to go
correct
away
me if I'm wrong, but it was degradable armor, correct? All of the sets were degradable from Nex.
No.
Were they not?
No, it was not.
No.
You're thinking the raid armors, I think.
No. Like,
no, he's thinking of like the stasis shit.
No, I'm not.
No.
I don't think the Nex armors were degradable.
No.
Usopp is saying it was like the Bear's armor. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was repairable.
Degradable but repairable.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
It was?
It was.
Okay. I must be remembering incorrectly.
No, it absolutely was. Do you guys remember the video that a friend made years ago? Lure fail, thanks for 18 mil. He had to go and repair his robe or whatever that he ended up selling to the guy before he could trade it. Like those armor sets were absolutely degradable.
What was it? Was the degrading anywhere near the levels that people thought were? Because that's the feedback that they got from the Elder armor was. Some of them said we wanted degradable. Some said we don't want it degradable. I'm kind of on the same page as you, Chase. Where it's like I don't think degradable is like a good balancing point. It's kind of just it's a mechanic that's there to sink gold, right? I mean, there's a lot of gold sinks in the game. I wouldn't really care if my armor is another gold sink, but it's not a good balancing point. You don't bounce the armor on the idea that you don't want this to be used in so many XRs of combat. Like you don't want people to take their Torva or whatever to Bandos and use it for like 3 days.
Right.
That I don't think that even really comes into it. I think it's just that I think these armors would pass rather than the raid armors simply because of nostalgia, which is why I think the raid armors did not pass.
I think it's a fair point that also kind of makes me scratch my head because it's like we'd like to keep old school as it is because of nostalgia, but these newer items would also pass because of nostalgia of a different sort. It's just kind of weird.
I don't want next personally.
I don't think it would be. I think they'd have to change it entirely. It's like power levels. It was built around having Beasts of Burden, wasn't it? Stuff like that.
Yeah, it was around Beasts of Burden.
Yeah, it was bounced around a different game.
Yeah, I don't think it would be good for old school.
Not only just like the balancing changes. The one thing I really like about old school is the fact that they're not just following what RS3 did, and they're not just adding in the same updates. They're adding new content that is exclusive to old school. I would much rather have a brand new God Wars boss that isn't Nex. You can have Nex similarities, like some of the same mechanics, but balance for old school. But I'd much rather see something fresh with fresh rewards.
I believe Ulm actually had some of Nex's mechanics. Like the firewall is incredibly similar to Nex's prison, right? Yeah.
It's also one of those things. It's like, have you ever had an RS3 player come into your stream and like kind of make fun of the fact that you're playing old school? If we got only updates that they had already had, they'd do that all the time. They'd be like, oh, you're finally getting this, you're finally getting that. But if they come in and say, what is that boss? I've never seen it before. It's like, hey, maybe you have a reason to try old school now. We have content that you don't.
I would really like a boss, like on the same, like with a drop similar to like Bludgeon, where you get it in pieces as drops and then you have to assemble it. But I wouldn't want it tradable. I'd want you to have to work for it, and then you get to keep it forever.
Rare, untradeable gear.
Yeah.
Chaotix 2.0. RNG Chaotix.
But then
I wouldn't make them as broken as Chaotix were.
So what you're doing basically is you're adding the Iron Man effect to an item. So even if you're a main, you have to farm for the pieces yourself and put them together.
Yeah.
You have to go through the pain of being an Iron Man.
It gives you a sort of prestige with the item because you work for it.
I can understand the appeal. I also don't think people would respond to it that well.
I mean, I don't think they would at all.
There's
people like buying everything.
Hunt mutagens and stuff like that, but mutagens are cosmetic. Like if you have a mutagen or not, it doesn't matter.
I don't think I would want a
best
in slot weapon like the bludgeon to be like that. And I'm like speaking from a main's perspective. It isn't because I'm lazy. Like I play the fuck out of this game. It's just because that's not how I chose to run my account. I did not choose to be an Iron Man. I don't think that. Because then the content comes into the game, and it's no different for Iron Man, but it's less convenient for everybody who's not chosen to be an Iron Man.
Yeah. Let him know he's on the notepad. All right, so yeah, that's pretty much our thoughts on it. All right, here's one. This is Dom sending kind of a funny, joking question. And I think I want to use this to segue into a different topic, which is pets. You think Jagex should change Dom's unluckiness at hunting to be your pet? How do you guys feel about pet luck and just like how rare pets are?
45 KC krill pet.
Mm-hmm. Every pet I've got is like stupidly lucky.
Rob, I hate you.
I don't think I've ever like went to a boss and just been like got the thing around the kill count. It's either like I went way off in left field and got super fucked, super unlucky, or I just got it like early on. I don't know, like I've never got a pet like, 1,000 kill count, 1,500 kill count. It's always like, oh yeah, here's my pet at like 100 KC. That's always how it seems to go.
My pets overall have been very reasonable luck, but it's never been like
No. Chase, you misunderstood. I meant like assemble in parts, like in the same vein as bludgeon.
Yeah, I know.
Not having it best in slot. Like I wouldn't want it to be the most powerful thing in the fucking game. Like a new weapon.
Well, that's
of
Why
that
are you
sort
making it such a
would be neat.
pain in the ass to get?
Why not?
Pain in the ass to get, but it sucks. Dead
I don't.
content.
Do we want another Abyssal Sire? No, we don't.
No.
I just don't think there's any need for it. And if it's a good enough thing that mains would actually want, you're just forcing them to get it themselves.
Yeah.
That's a stupid,
Don't buy
contrived
it,
thing to
pussy.
do. That's stupid. You're forcing mains to not be able to do what mains are allowed to do. I shouldn't have to be limited if I don't
Chase.
choose to limit myself.
You chose to play, man. You chose to not limit yourself. But
That's
you're
not
still
true.
Being limited.
Day
How do
one,
you feel?
day one account, bitch. No other choices.
There were no choices.
No, there weren't. And also, that's a stupid. Like,
You're like,
I'm
back
a
in my
very-
day, there were only 2 genders of accounts.
I'm a very middle of the road voter anyway. Like, I'll vote for things that are in your best interest as Iron Man. So don't fucking make me have to do Iron Man themed stuff as a main if I don't want to. I think it's a bad thing to force mains to have to do for something that could potentially be something that they really want. I think that if you're gonna do that with an item,
G rewards, untradeable RNG rewards are shit.
What about defenders though? They're untradeable RNG.
not hard
Yeah,
to get,
defenders
though.
are for some players. Defenders are really shit. The numbers are low on defenders. They're low enough that like the RNG is not that bad. I mean, like 1 in 100 for a dragon defender. You can't possibly be there for more than like a day or 2, right? And like the things are easy to kill. But big RNG, like what do you guys say? Like one in 256, 1 in 512. That gets disgusting when you need multiple pieces. And even if it is like sire, even if it is like sire, like I'm saying, like it has to be balanced.
So here's the thing, I guess, about that. Defenders, yeah, like this type of thing exists already in the game, but the way you phrased it made it sound like you want to add more of that just to fuck with mains because you're like, fuck them, they can buy everything. Here's something you can't buy, bitch. Like that's the only reason you want to put that in the game. There needs to be a better reason.
No, that's not the only reason. I just think it'd be a nice thing to have.
It's not.
What's
the only
nice about it for
neat.
you, though? What's nice about it for you?
think
It's no different
here's
for
my
you.
thing.
It's just worse for me.
Something else to go for.
To defend Rob's point here, to defend Rob's honor, prayer scroll should have been done this way.
Yeah.
I
Rare
don't.
untradeables.
That's.
All right,
I
Chase,
agree with that.
Outside of making money from a boss, why do you do it?
for the
Do you
pets.
have a reason other than pets?
No, the pets are an untradeable, so that's kind of comparable. I do for the pets. They're even rarer than the things you go for. But what I'm saying is, you say that's something cool to go for. Fine. Anything added to the game that's something cool to go for is untradeable for you. You have to do it yourself. So just keep it that way. Don't make me do it the same way as you because you're just it's contrived.
Well, it depends on the nature of the item, right?
Yeah.
Or the thing, since we can also apparently get prayers, which are not items. Depending on the nature of the thing that you're getting, right? It matters. So, like for instance, mutagens. Nobody gives a shit that mutagens are 1 in 8,000 untradeables. They're cosmetic.
Yeah.
Like, cool. It's awesome if you get one. Great. Same with pets. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that pets are really rare, and they should be rare because they're allowed to be that way because they're cosmetic. They don't affect anything. If these things affected the game balance,
Yeah. I don't
players
think
would
that-
be fucking pissed.
Think about what we
right?
said the numbers are. 95% of accounts are mains.
Yeah.
I think that what you'd be doing is just pissing people off for no reason. There'd have to be a better reason to do
I think it gives
content
you
like
something
that.
to work for
to be
outside of money.
accessi- It has to
Well,
be
I don't work for
accessible,
money,
like
though.
something like an arc light. Like think how accessible an arc light is.
Yeah.
Like it has to be arc light's untradeable. It's powerful,
Yeah.
but it's accessible. Soul Bearer, not that powerful.
Just-
Bone Crusher.
Just saying it's something to work for isn't
right?
enough, though. Like, the things I've worked for have never been money. They've been maxing my account and pets. Like,
All right, that's for you specifically. I know a lot of people that do bossing specifically so they can get rich and go stake it all.
and that's fine. That's how it should also be for mains if they want to
Yeah.
do that. That's how the game's
Those
always
people
been.
are weirdos.
And I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm just saying it gives you something to work towards that's more tangible than money.
Iron Price gives over
Outside of
a good
pets.
But
point.
mains
He says,
aren't going
"I
to
think
want
fire,
that. Mains aren't going to care
He says,
for
I
content
think
like
Fire
that.
Cape is the gold standard of untradeables. Fire Cape.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
It's
Yeah.
powerful. You got to work for it. It's skill testing, and I feel like that's the way it should be. If we're gonna make something untradeable, we're gonna make it good.
Hmm.
It also needs to be accessible, and that's why people are fucking pissed about the prayers. That's why everyone
or
told me
you?
to fuck off. Everyone told me to fuck off. That's why you're wrong.
Really? People told you to fuck off about that? It's such a good point,
Yes.
They did it wrong.
Some PVMers were very upset about the fact that
that's stupid.
I was ragging on how they put the prayers in the game. They told me I was just wrong, pretty much. But yeah, that's just how it is.
People will be.
We were on another question, weren't we? We came back onto this topic.
Where are we? I don't know.
We were.
Who the fuck knows where we were?
It was pets. We were talking about pets. I guess it just kind of relates in, right? Which is just rare untradables.
Were we talking about pets?
Yeah.
Which one?
Yeah, we were talking about pet luck.
Oh right.
Right.
Okay,
yeah. We're talking about pet luck.
Nigel said that he's gotten very lucky on a handful of pets. And I've gotten what I was saying was I've had neutral. It was
like I had to work for, Yeah. It was like either I just never get the pet or I got it like 100 KT.
The thing is when people look at my kill counts when they do like the pets command, they're like, "Oh, you're lucky," because almost all my pets were gotten below the drop rate, but it's like none of them were gotten early enough that I feel that lucky because they all took a relatively significant amount of time. But I have never gone dry until mole, and now I'm almost double the drop rate. So it's like overall, I've never felt like I was lucky at pets, and now it's just like getting worse and worse. And this is something that I've noticed. It's like the phenomenon where you buy a car and then you see that car fucking everywhere on the road. What happens as a pet hunter streamer? Everyone tells me about the pets they get, so I just am reminded. Yeah. I'm reminded how much luckier everyone is than me.
That's how I feel
every
about.
Day.
Yeah, no, it's a survivorship bias thing again, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Like you're only hearing about the people who have stupid luck. They want to come into your stream.
Well, it also doesn't help when it happens to people close to me, Rob and Nigel and Tom and everybody else. Like it happens to everybody I know, viewers and friends and like.
I mean, here's the way RNG works, right? It's like you're not always gonna get lucky, but if you play this game a shitload, you will definitely get lucky at some point.
Mm-hmm.
It works that way for everyone. You play the game long enough, you're gonna get lucky. Just how it is.
Oh yeah,
sometimes
poor Novacy.
Sometimes you're storgy.
Oh,
sometimes your gun's chilly.
Poor Novacy though. 12.4K dried Zulra last I heard. No pet.
Hey, speaking of sellouts, Novacy streams, guys. If you guys
haven't watched, I think it's Novacy RS, right? Is that his username?
Yeah, Novacy RS, I believe. I was gonna stream the other day. Good streamer.
He's a good guy.
Nice guy.
I like him. Yeah. He also did he did a celebratory 24-hour stream recently, and he did a really good job.
Yep.
With that. Good up and comer.
Cool dude.
Yeah.
While we're doing sellouts right now, you want to talk about your charity stream tomorrow?
Fuck yeah, I do. So yeah, for the first time ever, I'm doing a charity stream. I always wanted to do one. Like I like the idea of them. Obviously, charities are a good thing to raise money for, but I always felt like I never had the outreach or the viewership or the exposure for a charity stream to be super successful. And it's like there's never a bad time to try to raise money for charity, but I always wanted to wait until I figured I could hit a higher threshold for money raised. Like I wanted to put my time and effort into it at a time when I thought I could raise a decent amount, and now I finally feel like I could do that. And I planned it about a month ago, and in light of being on Connection Lost, I know that I can have some pretty sweet exposure if things go well. If I'm lucky, I should have some pretty good exposure, and I should be able to raise a decent amount of money. So that's happening tomorrow. No set start time. I'm just gonna wake up as early as I can and then start then. And I'm raising money for Mind, which is a mental health charity organization based in the UK. And so yeah, that's gonna be happening on my channel tomorrow, probably for 15 plus hours. I'll be live pretty much the whole day, raising money for charity. And I've got some cool forfeits, so be sure to come check that out.
One of your forfeits is shaving your beard, and the other one's alking an Ellie.
Yeah, I've got some good forfeits. There's not that many more. Like I can just go through all of them. Actually, we already hit the first one because some very generous people from my stream donated right when I made the page. So the first one, I think I'm going to start off the stream with that, but just by doing I'm going to do the fight cave with no armor, just for fun. I'm going to do a high-risk fight against a viewer, probably lose because I don't PK ever. I'm going to eat a couple hot peppers that I have sitting in my fridge. I'm going to stake my bludgeon and then do a giveaway if I win. I'm going to shave my beard at $2,000 raised for this charity, and at $5,000, very, very much of a stretch goal, I will alch my Elysian Spirit Shield.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I feel like beard should be higher than Ellie.
No. Beard will grow back in 2 weeks, dude. Like, that's... Nah.
I mean,
Ellie will grow back in 2 months.
Nah, dude. 2 weeks is Zora. You'll be fine.
I'm not fucking doing Zulra again.
He's like, no.
No.
I refuse.
No, yeah, no. Ellie, that's going to be a good sacrifice, I think. For that amount raised, I would do that. Gladly. Like, people would, when I first tweeted out that I was doing this, people were like, dude, you're going to regret it the next day. I'm like, no, it's...
Nah.
I haven't shaved in over a year. It's for a good cause. You know, Alec the Ellie, it's a good sacrifice. It's a good forfeit for that level of money raised for charity. Low alk
I
LE.
agree.
I was planning on high alking it, but I guess it doesn't really matter that much.
Just to kind of like bounce off one of the thoughts you said earlier, which is like you didn't do charity streams because you didn't think you were big enough yet. That's kind of the way I've always felt about charity streams, which is like, okay, look, if your charity stream can't make more money than you just like working a minimum wage job for a day and then you just donating the money yourself, why are you doing a charity stream?
See, it's like there's multiple sides to it. Like, Harabe, he's a friend of ours. He's very busy with work usually. He's not around that often, but Harabe the Knight is his name, and he's done multiple 24 hours at a very small channel size, to be honest. And it's still a true thing to say that any amount helps. So the amount he raised is not a bad thing, but I also do agree that like he could have just gone and worked at his job and then donated that for the day. And it's like, I feel like at a certain point, it's a silly thing to say that it's not worth it because raising money for charity is always 100% going to be a good thing.
Yeah,
but
it's always worth it, and I'm not trying to imply that.
No,
I'm just trying to say like as a streamer, you got
to
to be kind of smart.
Yeah, and he exerted a lot of effort to stay away for 24 straight hours to entertain, and he only had a couple of viewers the whole time. And I just feel like at a certain point, you're not getting the much out of
there's so much of that on Twitch. People pour their blood, sweat, tear, heart, and soul out into their Twitch streams. When really sometimes it's just the better decision not to. But I'm glad you're taking the leap, Chase. I haven't taken the leap myself, man.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this I'm so excited. I might have
a braver man than I. You're a braver man than I, Chase.
It's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Oh man, this will be gonna be the first time actually shaving in like a year and a half. I don't even know how long it's been.
I'm definitely gonna chuck some money towards it.
Awesome.
Things are tight.
Tune in.
You get my dollar dues.
Yeah, tomorrow, right here, twitch.tv/thismess, right there.
VW Tripwire WV.
Hey.
You're such like an edgy 14-year-old emo kid name.
People always say it's edgy. Like there was no reason for the letters to be those. I just chose them for a reason.
He could have been T_R_I.
Yeah, I'm not one of the shifty UKs of the world. There was actually
That's
somebody
a
else.
Fair point.
I saw somebody else like that in my stream after I got raided a couple days ago. That it had the exact same like number of characters and an underscore in between each one, and somebody else made the comment of like you should be paired up with Shifty. Yeah, actually, funny story. The very first place I ever used the name Tripwire was on RuneScape for a pure account with that exact username. Back in the day, it was iTripwireI. Not even kidding. And then I adapted it into an Xbox gamer tag, which is where it really started to become like my online personality thing. And I just didn't want to do X's or I's because I felt like it was just too normal. And the V's and W's.
Wait, you're telling me you could have been XX Tripwire?
Yeah,
XX.
I could have been.
Could have been.
I'm glad I didn't do that. It would have been worse.
Edgelord.
Would have been worse. But like
could have been X.
The thing is, like, people assume that I just wanted to be fucking edgy with different letters. That's actually not the case. I chose V's and W's for a reason, and people don't care to hear the reason most of the time. They just want to make fun of me. But the reason was the V's and W's, obviously, like a W is just two V's that connect. And I liked the fact that if I could manage to make it VWV, they would kind of like blend together. But that exceeded the character limit to have VWV on either side, so I just shortened it to VW and then WV. And now I get shit for it all the time. And as soon as I get partnered, I'm requesting a name change. Rest assured.
He's like, I just want to be Tripwire.
That's it. That's all I really want. That's the identifier. The extra letters were because Tripwire is always
taken. I'm not on
taken.
Xbox Live anymore, please.
Well, and the letters were a necessity, always. Tripwire by itself has been taken fucking everywhere. Taken. I hate it. Always but, it's just how it is.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I understand. That's why I'm Iron_Strix, because the name Strix is always taken. So
it's unfortunate.
I actually know the guy in game that has the RSN Strix. Yeah, I haven't seen him online in a while, but I messaged him one time, and I actually wanted to get his name off. I'm like, hey, is there any way I can get that name? No. He's like, no. He's had it since like RS Classic, so yeah, he ain't giving it to me. Poor guy. He still plays RS3.
No, Wes, I'm not. No. That monstrosity of a username. Oh God, but yeah, that's the story, and that's what I'm doing tomorrow. So make sure you come out. I'll be live like the whole day, so anytime you can make it is fine.
All right, so moving on from Chase's awesome charity streams going on tomorrow, we're gonna go to the next question here. It says, with the future poll coming to close, how do you think Jagex should combat people making real life robots that can play RuneScape, like a real human and gain EXP? I guess people are making like mechanical stuff.
How predominant is this becoming?
I don't imagine it's that predominant.
I've seen someone take a fan and tie like a pencil to it and have it hitting their mouse as it rotates and goes in a circle, and it's just auto clicking for them, but they can't get banned for it because their mouse is doing the action.
Huh.
And it's shit like that.
They can get banned for it.
If they could prove that it's a fan. Like if they saw that.
The way that Jagex does most of their macro detection, I believe, is through heuristics. So it's just they just take statistical data of people they think are kind of sketchy, because maybe somebody will right-click reports you in game, right? And then Jagex decides, all right, we're going to scope this dude out for a couple days. And they'll start gathering data on what the fuck you're doing in game. And if they can figure out that through this data that they gather about what you're doing, that you're macroing doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you've got a script, some software running on your computer. Sometimes if you have any sort of like mechanical device or anything like this that's helping you bot, they can check that out just via heuristics. They can be like, oh yeah, this guy's just doing this at the same interval for X amount of time. He's botting. They don't have to know how you're botting. They just know you're botting. And that's what they look for, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
No report, no ban. That's not necessarily true, but it is related.
It's true in a lot of cases.
It's you get banned faster if someone reports you. If you get a lot of reports,
it draws attention to it.
Yeah, if you get enough reports, I'm pretty sure there's just like a list that you get put on. If like 30 people report you, you're just like, you're on heuristics. You're gonna get banned. If
you guys remember the bot detection worlds? Remember that?
Yeah.
That was always fun when like you'd get hopped randomly and be like, what just happened? And then you realize that you were like tagged for suspicious activity and then transferred to the bot detection world. And bots, of course, won't hop back because they won't know that happened. Yeah. So you're just like, okay, I'll hop back. It's fine. But it's like the first time it happens to you, you're like, what the fuck just happened? Yeah,
you see it to move to 386. And I was like,
yeah.
Interesting. I like this world. It's full of people that don't talk to me.
Yeah. I mean, you stand alone, so it's better that way.
Mm-hmm. I turned my public chat off because I stand alone.
I turned my public chat off at Wintertot.
Just to pretend nobody else is in this game. It's all for me. Maybe that's why people play Iron Man mode. They just like to pretend they're the only ones. I would support an offline version of RuneScape. Would you guys want an offline version of RuneScape that you could just like download and play locally?
Yeah.
I feel like most Iron Man players would say, fuck yeah, I want that.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me,
you have to buy everything, Chase.
That's not the point. I'd like it if that meant like I could play from more devices. That'd be really cool, I think. If it didn't have to be always online, I could, play from a tablet or whatever. I think if they could adapt that somehow, I would really like that idea. But I've always liked the fact that RuneScape was had a very competitive atmosphere to it, like the high scores and things like that. And I wouldn't really want to lose that aspect of it necessarily. And it's not just because I'm maxed either. Like I always liked this, even back in high school.
It would raise so many problems. Namely, first one being people would just decompile the client because they'd have to take the server code and put it into the client. Mm-hmm. So essentially, everyone has perfect RS private servers now, which that's the main reason Jagex is probably never going to do that until old school RS dies. They might do it at that point, but it's never going to happen. But it's always something that's cool to dream about. Yeah, it's something I think it would be cool to happen at one point. And even Mod Ash has said at some point, way down the road, maybe they'd like to do it.
Yeah, to release source or whatever.
Yeah, release the source.
But it definitely would be a lot more useful for Iron Men who don't want to like get crashed when they're bossing or whatever. You could play offline. But yeah.
They said they're gonna consider instance worlds for God Wars Dungeon, like instance boss rooms for like Slayer and stuff. Yeah, because they were saying they would look at it. They're looking at analytics for it right now.
If no one else plays, you're always the #1 Iron Man.
What is that like thinking?
Oh yeah, like the being smart one. But it's also like if no one else plays, your rank doesn't mean anything.
Imagine the RS modding community. Exactly. I'm thinking like Minecraft. Minecraft has a really robust modding community.
That would be really interesting.
See, not as dumb as you thought. All right.
I never said it was dumb. I just wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want
somebody to do it myself. Somebody asked a question about D-Spears. I think this is Drew. Drew's not here, but we'll answer your question anyways. Which is D-Spearing. Should it be allowed? Do you think it's breaking the game's rules? Do you think it's overpowered? Should it be fixed?
Oh, that's not the question. I thought there was another D-Spear one, but we'll talk about that later.
As far as D-Spears go, I think it's a game mechanic, but it's kind of like one that makes you kind of like raise your eyebrow at it.
Yeah.
Because when it wasn't nerfed, it was way overpowered. There was literally nothing players could do to fight back. There is no counterplay to if you're getting D-Speared in singles.
How do they nerf it again?
Or, sorry,
Can you
not
like
in
eat
singles,
through
in
it?
multi.
Or...
You can eat through it now.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
what I thought.
you can
like,
now eat through it. There's now like a slight delay between when you get done next and you can eat. You can drink prayer, right?
Yep.
So the problem was before is players could just D-spear you mercilessly and there's nothing you could do. Like you would be dead in Lumbridge and you'd still be getting D-speared for like the next minute because they just stacked up on each other like that. And you can see footage of this out there. People just getting D-speared, losing their bank, and sitting in Lumbridge getting speared for another minute.
I think with the nerf, I don't necessarily think it needs to be changed any further because, like you said, it is a game mechanic that they already kind of addressed. I think it's better. I don't know that it's not perfect, but I think that I'd be fine with it being left alone.
Yeah, the thing is like in multi, there's a lot of broken stuff. I mean, multi's broken even if you, because there's no limit on how many people can attack you in multi. You can get a clan of 100 people to stack one dude with crystal bows. They're risking nothing. They're essentially just ragging is what they're doing, and they can PK anyone in like one game tick. Is that OP? Well, yeah, but it's just part of RuneScape. Like multi-combat's dangerous, right? But I think the bad part about D-Spears is it goes back to something I've talked about a lot, which is how does this game feel to play, right? What is it like to play from when you're sitting in that seat getting D-Speared? It's fucking awful. When you're sitting in the seat and like a team debos you, you're like, oh well, like I got fucking owned, right? It's quick, it's painless. You got wrecked. See you later. You getting D-Speared for all your worth, getting smited out. You know, getting pushed around in Lumbridge for a minute after you're dead. Like that just feels like, what the fuck is this game I'm playing? Yeah, is like what it feels like. It feels like something is very wrong.
There's some sadism there.
You're playing.
You have to watch yourself die.
So I mean, both of those things are very powerful, but one of them's just really wrong in how it feels to the player. It feels like there's nothing you can do. It feels like the game's broken, even though technically both of those things are just really powerful because multi-combat's powerful. I don't know.
I don't think it needs any more changes. It is kind of what it is at this point.
Yeah, I think at this point they've made the changes that they need to. You have any additions to that, Rob, or nah?
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in its current state, it's good, right?
Doesn't affect me. I don't PvP.
How many people here have got D-Speared? Have you got D-Speared before, Rob?
No. I play an Iron Man, don't PvP, and I can't get one as a drop.
Okay. Have you ever been D-Speared in the wild, Chase? Like just D-Speared around multi for like minutes?
I don't know. I think I've maybe been D-Speared like once, but it was a long time ago and not by a huge team. So
Every time I go out to Venenatis and Callisto, I'm worried.
Yeah.
One time I almost got speared at Venenatis. I was killing Venenatis, and a team ran. By the way, this is what smart teams will do at Venenatis. Dumb teams come at you from the west. They come at you from multi into singles. Smart teams come at you from the east, come to the west. Because as soon as Venenatis dies, they run at you and they spear you into multi, is what they do. And then you're fucked. So a team came at me from the east, and I knew that's immediately I teleported. As soon as I saw people from on the east side of the map. When you see people on the west side of the map at Venenatis, you don't worry at all. Callisto and Vedian, there's nothing you can do. But at Venenatis, it's really spooky. And I almost got speared by this team. The guy was, I saw the ice barrage, or not ice barrage, sorry, TB. It wasn't ice barrage. I saw the TB coming at me, and he splashed it, and I was able to teleport. It was this close to getting speared for everything. I was just, I
can't wait to grind.
I would have had to sit there for minutes.
Willy boss pets are gonna be fucking horrible.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna get speared at least once.
Oh yeah,
while doing Callisto or Vedian.
My experience will come.
It's not a fun experience. If you've ever seen it happen to someone, it's the first time you see it, it's laughable.
You know what was
it's
funny?
Hilarious.
Speaking of laughable, do you guys remember back when Ronan had first joined the dev team and he was taking over the community streams, and one of the first ones he did was the Castle Wars mass, and that was before the nerf of the D-Spear. So then as soon as he got in on his JMod account and made himself attackable, he got D-Speared for the entire game. He couldn't leave. He couldn't leave the spawn area. Like he'd step outside, get despeared, and then just be stuck there. But he wouldn't die though because I think he could regenerate his health with the rotten potato or whatever. But he couldn't do anything for the entirety of the match.
Yeah, I mean, D-Spear stacking is just gross to watch. And like Novacy says, Ancient Mace is pretty scary after the update because you can get smited now. You didn't used to be able to get smited. Because if you died and were smited on the same tick, you would still keep your shit.
Right.
Now D-Spears are a little scarier. Like you can drink prayer potions now, but if you combine D-Spears with Ancient Maces and multi, like there's no chance. You're fucked. That's just how it works. I feel like gameplay with zero counterplay is just really lame. But at the same time, like I don't really know how you're gonna fix this. You know what I mean?
It's like we don't have suggestions, so why bitch about it?
Yeah. What does Ancient Mace do? It smites for exactly how much you hit.
Yep.
Which is pretty strong.
Yeah.
And it's a quest reward too, so it's free.
Mm-hmm.
Get your hands on that bad boy. It's actually pretty useful in Nightmare Zone. When you get the infinite spec, you use the Ancient Mace to spec up your prayer.
Ah.
So I always bring Granite Maul and
that.
Ancient Mace.
Yeah, I was always just bringing
Use those
G
speed
Maul.
pots. Yeah, also you steal their prayer too.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right, so we can move on from this one.
Mm-hmm.
What would you think about changing the Dragon Spear spec to a poor man BGS / Dragon Warhammer? So change the nature of what Dragon Spear does.
BGS is already a poor man's BGS.
BGS is already for poor people. We don't need a poor BGS. No. We already have a poor BGS. It's called the Arclight.
Oh,
True.
yeah.
/ Darklight. Arclight / Darklight does the same thing.
It never hits either. It's basically like the worst part of a BGS and the worst part of a D Warhammer wrapped into one weapon.
Yeah. One has bad accuracy. Well, not bad, but worse accuracy. The other has a worse spec, and Arclight has both.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, you can actually, when people say like, oh man, if you got a corp kill, like it's crazy to get a corp kill on Iron Man. It's like, dude, you can go get corp kills as soon as you get a friggin' dark light.
Yeah.
If you want to, and you have the stuff to do it.
Did you watch?
You can go in there with a rune spear and an arc light. Like you're in there.
Did you watch Tom's most recent progress video? Because he's doing Zammy in it, and he specs twice with the arc light, and they both hit zeros, of course. I just thought that was funny that it was in the video. It's like, here's how this weapon works against Zammy. It doesn't.
Billy, the arc light is so good, and he's just like specking.
Yeah, well, the thing is, it is, but the spec's not.
It is good, yeah. Well, the spec on the arc light is better than the spec on the dark light, as long as you're getting the effect.
Of course.
Because the funny part about the dark light, part of the reason the dark light's so shit, is because it has the accuracy stats of a steel longsword.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's garbage. Arc light actually gives you bonus accuracy. Dark light does not, and especially if you're not using it on a demon. If you're not using it on a demon, it's just a steel longsword.
So anyway, the question was, should we make the D-Spear spec change to be more like a weaker BGS? I think the answer is just no.
No.
I don't know why we would do that. I don't know why you would change the D-Spear spec after so many years. It's also had attention directed towards it. It was nerfed to make it less horrible for being D-Speared in the wilderness or whatever. I don't know why they would address it and then entirely change it and make that.
I don't know about you, but one of the most fearsome images in RS, I think, is a bald guy, pink beard, D-Spear, nothing else. It's standing in the wilderness. It's the scariest image in old school. It's that way for a reason. I don't know. I think D-Spear is the way it is.
Hold on. Can you repeat that?
It's a dude from Rot with a D-Spear.
Right. The pink beard.
No, exactly what you said, like in terms of describing the guy.
Are you thinking of what a friend said, Rob?
He's bald, pink beard, D-Spear, no armor.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's an image out there.
Were you thinking?
Yeah,
like
black bald guy, pink beard.
Yeah, because I was gonna say the
black. Okay,
Adobe
so
Dots
you're afraid of
addressed it.
blaak people.
See, Rob just wanted to make
That's
that
not
joke.
what I said.
He didn't say it.
I'm afraid of D-Spears and
But
Rot.
Dovidas did, because he made a video about that, and he was like, "Isn't this dude scary?" It was basically like a Rot member, but he had the skin tone that the player chose was the black skin, so everybody's like, "You're fucking racist."
Is that way he's scary?
I mean, that's what I took out of that conversation. You're just afraid of black people.
Are they all in Rot?
Do you lock your car doors when they walk by?
When Rot comes by? Yes.
When black people walk by in Oklahoma, that happens, right?
Oh gosh.
Fair point.
I mean, you're not wrong, but
No, I'm not. I mean, Obviously, like there's a difference between being afraid of black people and just never seeing them. I live in the second whitest state in the country.
Yeah.
There aren't that many.
The
of them.
reality, yeah, I mean, like, well, the reality is there was only a few black kids in my school. Like, you're kind of right. You're kind of
Yeah,
right.
it's like, do you lock your car when a black person walks by? No, because I'm not a racist fuckhead. Also, a black person never walks by my car ever. I wouldn't mind if they did, but it doesn't happen.
Diversity in 2017.
Not up here.
Nope, not in Maine. Not in
Maine.
Oklahoma.
Vermont. Fun fact: Vermont is the first whitest state in the country.
Is it?
Yep.
I can believe that.
Anyway,
Yeah, segue.
we got another question.
I don't think there's any more questions unless chat has some right now. I'm just going.
Shane says he's the blackest dude I've ever hung out with.
Nara says Abby
Oh my
Dagger should
goodness.
obviously teleport you to your target with a special attack. I think that would be totally cool, but issues. There's big issues there.
Many glitches.
Namely glitches. Have you heard of pafting?
Pafting, yes.
Because many problems.
Did you know that we're now 2 for 2 on podcasts where we mentioned pafting? Let's keep it going.
We're gonna bring back the pafting community.
Oh my god. Basically saying, I don't care about my account. Please ban me.
Nightcrate says, do you think they should keep making OSRS an esport?
Yes.
What do you think, Rob?
Yeah.
Yes and no. Like, if they're gonna do it right. Like, they've had some really, really poor Deadman tournaments.
Yeah, but do it right is just one of those things that's easy for us to say. It's hard for them to do. Because there's just so many...
Did you see the last tournament?
Yes.
I thought it was bugged when I watched it.
Yeah, I know.
I legitimately asked people in the CC, is this intended? People died in seconds from the fog. You couldn't get into the palace.
The thing is, like, they're not lying to us and saying, hey, it's great. And they're also not saying that. I mean, they're trying, obviously. They're taking feedback. They've made tweaks every single time. They're obviously trying to make it better every season. And I think that while there's going to be problems, there's no reason to just stop it, because the esports thing is a very good angle for growing their game.
It is, yeah.
Like, I think RuneScape was like the number 3 on Twitch during the last tournament, which is huge for RuneScape.
Yeah, it is. It's a really big deal. I completely agree. Like, at the same time, when you have all this publicity and all these people watching, and it's just shit entertainment, like when your entire, tournament, quote, everyone dies in less than 10 seconds?
Yeah.
That's not good publicity at all.
But it's
if you're going to have a
tweaking
big audience, it's got to be good.
I agree. But it's better to keep tweaking it and then get it right than it is to just ditch it, I think.
I agree with that. But, like, going forward, it's really, I'm not a game developer. I don't work for Jagex. I can't imagine what it's like to, be in their position. But at the same time, like, I can also see that, if you let, an entire group of people that are, spending an entire week of progress, getting into this tournament, if you let them die in 10 seconds, well, that's probably a bad thing. Like, that, I don't know about you, buddy. That's a pretty big red flag for me.
Yeah, I see that, but it's not going to recur. That's not going to be the case next tournament. You know that.
It shouldn't have been the case at all.
We don't know. It could. I mean, it's multi. It's like this is like I think Deadman mode tournaments are like the wildest like you can imagine a PvP tournament being. Like it is wild, right? Like we're just like putting players in there. It's like we don't know what the fuck is gonna happen, right? Like Jagex cannot possibly predict what the hell these players are gonna do. I would like to see a more structured PvP. I would like to see something. I would like to see maybe in addition to Deadman mode, maybe we reduce the amount of money Deadman mode gets. The Deadman mode tourney gets 5K, and then we have like some sort of like singles or teams tourney, right? Like 1v1s, 2v2s, 5v5s.
That'd be cool.
Like some clan format, because a lot of I think a lot of PK clans do that stuff. They actually they actually have like 5v5s and stuff like that, like 5v5 tribe bringing no honor, all that shit.
What I would like to see, in the same vein of how League of Legends does their esports, where they have like an actual tournament roster and it goes over several days, have clans set up like that and go one-on-one against each other, and do multiple matches like best of 5s, and then have one ultimate winner at the end. I'd really like that versus what we have now.
I think Rot shouldn't be allowed to compete.
Wow.
Or no,
I think they should, just to get destroyed.
I think that they should be allowed to compete if they have somebody new representing them going forward. Because the leader of Rot is a fuckwit.
Yeah, I was just saying, maybe one problem with this is the maturity of RuneScape clans versus esports teams. I mean, esports personalities do sometimes say some really dumb shit. I've definitely seen some League players say some really stupid stuff. But
it's just
the RuneScape clan community, like I said earlier, shit's wild.
If you're gonna do it based on a clan system, you need to have somebody decent at communicating and being a person, interacting. And if you've ever seen the leader of Rot's Twitch channel, what he says, the fact that he fucking got banned for ragging the #1 player because he's an asshole, like he should not be allowed to compete for 10 grand at this game that he just is a dick all over.
I don't care if he competes. I care if they give him a microphone. I don't want him representing the RuneScape player base.
Well, that would just be an irresponsible decision to give him a microphone. For
sure.
They
shouldn't do that. Like,
this is Jagex are talking about. It could happen. You never know.
Yeah, it could happen. Shouldn't happen.
You never know. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're ever gonna get to the point. RuneScape's not a structured esports game, but we can maybe get like the thing is like neither was Smash Bros. Like Smash Bros wasn't either.
True.
But it at least had like a pretty competitive aspect to it.
Yeah, it did.
We don't PvP, so it's hard for us to say what capacity this is, but I would like to see it. I'd like to see Jagex attempt it. I would like to see them go beyond Dead Man mode.
How about submission of RuneScape to a GDQ? Make it a speedrunnable game. Like make it
actually,
80%.
I think the way you could make RuneScape speedrunning a thing is because people used to do this. They used to do you used to make an FTP account and you'd see how fast you can complete all the FTP quests.
Yeah. I think we should have like a free to play any percent, pay to play any percent. See how fast you can get a quest cape. Or free to play.
Pay to play any percent could be a thing if you could reset quests.
Oh yeah, because you'd have to make a new account for a new run.
You have to pay every time.
Yep.
Okay.
And people have been petitioning Jagex about this. There was a guy who used to do this. Yeah, for quest resetting.
Yeah.
Yeah, people already speedrun Tutorial Island. Tick manipulation. But no, like this is already a thing. Oh, I forget what the guy's name is. He used to stream it. He used to stream RS speedruns, and he used to do the
I would watch that.
Any percent Dragon Slayer. He used to do any percent Dragon Slayer, like complete Dragon Slayer as fast as you can, right?
I would eat
that guy is he's since stopped streaming, but I would love to see that be a thing. I would love to see Jagex make it so quests are repeatable, so you can have a pay-to-play account, you're maxed or whatever, and then you can repeat quests. You don't get the rewards or anything, but it lets you complete the quest, right? So you can go back through the quest. You can replay it. It would be awesome if we could do that, because then all of a sudden, there's this whole new category of RuneScape streaming, right? There's RuneScape speedruns, like quest speedruns. There'd be a whole new community. It would be awesome. I would love to see it. But the only downside to this is people could grief you.
Yeah, that's true.
People grief you.
Streaming it would kind of be rough. If you needed
your Elvarg any percent time gets fucked because somebody's fighting Elvarg,
or somebody
you have to world hop.
If somebody could pick up the resources you need to finish a quest.
Yeah, I think what they'd have to do that is your quest would have to be instanced on the reset.
So basically, like this is not all that viable. Is what we're saying.
It is viable, but it would require a lot of work and a lot of.
Well, it's like it's not. I mean, it's not viable in the sense that I feel like they wouldn't want to spend time making it viable.
I wouldn't spend the time, but it's a nice idea, but implementing it would be very difficult.
Right.
Yeah, it's something I hope Jagex sometime finds the resources to do.
That'd be cool.
Just because I would stream it. That's cool as fuck to me.
Yeah.
I would definitely stream that, but. I don't think it's anything Jagex is going to do anytime soon, but I would like to see it. It's a really cool thought. Mr. Mammal moderately paced runs. The Mr. Mammal version of the speed run. It's like 3 times longer, and it's not nearly as good, but it gets there.
Oh boy.
Oh man, what was something said to me one time was, somebody just chucked money at me. What the hell?
I think we would just have it be called Mr. Mammal Percent. That's just a category.
Mr. Mammal
of speedrunning. Yeah, there you
go. Jordan, thanks for the hello there. That scared me, man.
Jordan.
Is Rob dead? Oh, he's just looking at his phone. Okay.
Rob's alive now.
But I'm good.
I also have a snap from Jordan. Should I be checking that?
Possibly. What I was trying to, I had something on my mind here about the Mr. Mammal thing. Oh yeah, somebody left a YouTube comment for me one time. They said I sound like Mr. Mammal, and they said it was like Mr. Mammal and some other dude. Like, I was like, as long as I just sound like them, and I don't like I don't PVM like Mr. Mammal does, we're fine. I think he said I sounded like Mammal and Wooks or something. That's weird. And I'm like, as long as or no, Mammal and Zulu. That's what he said. He said Mammal and Zulu. I sound like a mix between them. And I'm like, as long as I just sound like them and I don't skill like Zulu and PVM like Mammal. That's what I said.
That's good.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't mean to like derail everything or anything, but how much longer are you guys wanting to go? We've already been live for like 3 hours.
Yeah, it's been 3 hours already.
We can wrap it up whenever you guys are ready.
I think we can wrap it up. Yeah, I think we're good.
Yeah, I'm good whenever.
I think that's a wrap, boys.
I want to go get dinner.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. We've just offended Mammal, Zulu, vegans, lots of people today. Rob's pushing to make people of color hate us too, I think. Also, Rot members, I don't think they appreciate us anymore.
I don't care.
You're like, I don't give a shit.
It's like if
you're gonna get ragged so hard on your Wildy pets.
If I'm gonna be streaming pet hunting, it was gonna happen anyway. Something I have to deal with. But it's like if people were to say, "Don't say that," you're gonna upset the Reddit nerds. I don't care. Like, fuck them. So, yeah. Anyway, the thing I think is funny about people making fun of Mr. Mammal is like they always make fun of him for his shitty guides, but the guides are just ridiculously outdated. He doesn't actually like follow his own guides anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't.
It's just that
his guides are just really old.
At the time, they were decent. They were too long. Admittedly, the videos were still too long, but like they were fine for the time. It's just that now,
yeah, like his Abyssal Sire guide he made. It was really funny. He took a really long time to make his Abyssal Sire guide, and then there was an update to Sire, and it was immediately out of date, like a week later.
Yeah,
like it's so hard to make a guide that's up to date. That's why when I made my Bandos guide, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna make this as fucking comprehensive as possible.
Yeah.
So if anything changes, you at least have like the idea of what you're supposed to be doing.
He probably just doesn't have time to update them either. Like he's already
he's a busy guy.
And like I actually thought of like I started drafting scripts and like ideas for a YouTube series. I literally didn't release one episode. Like it's just not everything is worth devoting your time to.
Yeah.
When you're trying to balance stuff full time, like I'm sure that.
I mean, the thing isn't like why would he take down those videos and update a new one?
Oh yeah.
When those videos have 100,000 views or whatever, like money.
I'm sure they don't get that many views now, but like they still get some.
No,
views.
not now, but that's still a shitload. Yeah. It's still like when I search Bandos, his freaking Bandos guide still comes up.
Oh yeah, actually, they're just so highly rated.
Let me go on YouTube and
they have a lot of views. They have a lot of likes. They're very highly rated. So of course they're gonna come up.
I still use those guides for the most part.
They're not bad. They just
Bandos.
No, they're not bad to get like a base idea of what you're doing.
You gotta wade through like 7 minutes of content to see when he starts going to the boss.
Bandos guide 2007 because I'm getting ours through results. Right. So we've got Mr. Mammal's guide right there at the top. That's 2 years ago, and then another one by Mr. Mammal, and then it's Thoboink's guide, and then it's some guy called Spag Eddie made one a year ago, and then it's a duo guide. And then mine's like way down here. Mine actually comes up on the first page. That's impressive.
Boom.
I didn't think mine would be that highly ranked.
Go watch Nigel's Bandos guide. Go.
It's I mean it's crazy, man.
Oh, you know what's funny, Nigel? I wanted to mention real quick that you could do whenever you upload a new YouTube video, time it in such a way that you upload it but don't publish it until you're streaming and you're about to end your stream. I've seen Witwix do this. He's a funny guy, obviously, and he can get away with it because he's a huge channel. But he will, instead of raiding somebody, he will raid his own YouTube videos.
His YouTube video, yeah.
He will click the publish video right as he's doing his outro, and then he'll link his YouTube video in the chat and be like, "Go watch this," and everybody will go watch it. raid your own fucking raid your progress videos.
Raid your own video.
Really smart.
Do it. Fucking do it. Try it out. Try raiding one of your progress
Raid your
videos.
own Reddit threads.
Oh god.
God no.
Shouldn't be allowed to stream if you're doing that shit.
No, you shouldn't.
Raid your own Reddit thread. I like it. All right, so one thing I think we want to do in the future. We'll discuss this for the next podcast. But one thing, there's a podcast I really like watching is the Magic Podcast, and they always do for their outro. they always do some kind of like funny segment called a sign off, right? So I think in the future, we're gonna look into that. Each week we're gonna task one of whoever's on to do the sign off, and if we have a guest, we'll involve the guest in the sign off. But we'll look into that. We don't have anything this week.
So what do you?
I'm actually just springing it on these guys for the first time.
Yeah, do you have an example of that? Like how? What makes it funny or like worth doing?
So basically, it's just kind of like humor, right? They'll involve the other people and they'll do something humorous. Like imagine kind of like maybe like an SNL skit or something. Like somebody impersonates, like maybe we'll impersonate a rot meteorologist or something like that. Or we'll make our own Mr. Mammal guide on the podcast here or something like that.
I see what you're saying.
So some short little sign off, something kind of funny.
We'll do some RS related memeing and then for a sign
do
off.
the sign off in Mr. Mammal's voice. Yeah, something like that. Just something kind of funny, kind of silly. So
Okay.
we're not going to do anything like that this week. We're just going to say bye. We're going to say thanks for viewing. You guys are awesome. There'll be another one of these next week. If you guys are new here and you've never seen us before, my name is Nigel, aka Strix. This is my channel. This is where the video is at. If you guys enjoyed it, drop me a follow and also drop these guys a follow. This guy right here, he's Rob, aka Vorpal Tongues. Go check him out.
On my screen,
Okay,
it's reversed, but yeah. Hi.
Yeah, that's Chase, aka Tripwire. Go check him out. We all stream full time. Check us out sometime. And
come by my charity stream tomorrow.
Yeah, Chase's charity stream tomorrow. Don't forget. What time does it start?
When I
Do you
wake
have a
up.
fixed start time?
When I wake
When
up.
he wakes up. Whenever he wakes up.
But
It's
it's
gonna be
gonna
live for
go.
like 15
But it's gonna
hours.
go all
It's
day
so
after that.
professional.
Well,
He's gonna be like 15
well,
hours.
the reason I didn't do
mean,
a time is just because I didn't want to promise something that I couldn't
know,
stick
I
to.
know.
Like I have a new bed; it's really comfortable, and I just keep sleeping right through my alarms or like turning them off.
the only thing you can stick to is his new bed.
Yes.
Sticks to
So
that.
I didn't want to say it starts at this time and then fucking everybody's mad because I'm not there.
Have Kristen come over tonight and then wake you up with some oral. It'll be a great way to start your day.
Oh my god.
I'll hop out of the stream and I'll look like the new Rig C emote. I'll be so fucking happy.
He starts on the charity stream. Hey guys, what's going on? Chase has got like a cigarette in his mouth. He's like, yeah. Ooh, what's going on? Oh, the most relaxed stream ever.
I'll be like, hey guys, we're gonna raise some money for charity.
Everything is great. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll have another one for you next week, guys. Everyone, wait, bye. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Have a good one, guys.